welcome. Welcome. Wow. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. Drop the pants
welcome.
down.
Drop the pants down. Welcome to the Do-Over Podcast, episode 6. It is 6. It is the 6th episode. The Do-Over Podcast. Welcome to the kind of rearranged studio. We noticed a little bit of a echo issue, so shout out to Orky.
Shout out Orky.
Came here,
Pookie Wookie,
burning the midnight oil, the candle on both ends. Came in here, he edited some stuff, and he came over here and he rearranged some stuff. So now we should not have that echo issue.
So I'm sorry, all bats that are listening. You're just going to be lost.
Yeah, you won't know where to go.
You won't know what to do.
You're going to shoot out the echolocation and it's not going to come back. And you'll be like,
I'm blind.
I'm so blind. We got Elliot Jiggity Jams.
What's up, man?
What's up? We got Bar Breast Jess.
Hello.
And we got good guy Greg. What's up, Greg?
Howdy.
Do me a favor. Introduce yourself. First, last name, rank. Go.
Hello, my name's Greg Gedese, owner of Good to Go Gun Training here in Fresno, California, and full-time executive protection agent.
Full-time. See, he's a legit man. We talked about Greg.
Yeah,
We
I mean, I
did.
can
This
tell.
last
Look at this.
episode.
Hubba.
Look at your arms. Jesus Christ, Greg.
I saw him at the gym once. The one and only time he'd ever been there.
Oh, just the once.
I was like, seriously, get it together. Like, you're not big
You're
enough.
not even. You're just walking.
You know-
you're on number one, walking on the treadmill. Come on,
Look,
Greg.
man,
you can do better than
I didn't want to be the one to tell him, but let himself go a little bit.
Just a little bit. No,
Just a big ball of poof.
it was funny. Jess did a coffee run, and you would think
Ugh.
that she was having the hardest life experience unfolding
I'm
in front of her.
exhausted.
She's like, there's no drink carriers, and I'm not strong. I don't know how they think that I can carry
Listen.
all these.
Listen, we had 4 drinks, okay?
4.
4 whole
Not
drinks.
1, not 2 or 3.
4. So I'm like, hey, girl, to the girl at the front. I'm like, hey, girl, is there a drink carrier? She said, no. Not even like a no, I'm so sorry. Just like a no. So I was like, ew.
Ugh.
I go, okay, then. So I literally went and like gathered them up. Elliot's coffee immediately starts spilling on my sweaty.
And you were very upset about that.
It's whatever.
Whatever.
You know what I mean?
How did you do that, Elliot?
That was perfect.
How did you do that?
What are you talking about? That was you, man.
That was not me. How did you do that? Did you connect to this?
with the vipers.
Oh my God. Did you connect Elliot to the sound? Fuck.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you connect? God damn it. What the fuck? Orc, what were you thinking?
Brilliant.
Best Friday ever.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant.
Round of
Yeah.
applause to
Round
our
of
producer.
applause.
Big
Yes.
up. Yeah, see? I didn't do that.
You didn't do that one.
I didn't do that one.
Anyways.
I didn't do it.
So you're struggle busing. You're
So
trying
I'm
to get the
struggle
coffee.
busing, okay? And I'm in a rental car. We'll get to that.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm in a rental
Yeah, you're the worst parker in history.
Yeah. But
She might just be the worst driver in history.
Okay, no. Somebody hit me. I did not hit them. I was not even in my car when this happened.
Wow, you're such a bad driver. You can hit people without even driving. That's crazy.
I know. So I'm in a rental car and there's not even any cup holders in the back seat. There's only the 2 in the front. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So then I just like makeshift cup holders. And then I'm like, la, 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 la. Oh, there's a train going. Okay.
Oh my God, the train will f your day up
I
beyond
sat
belief.
there. I'm like, oh my God. And then I see a stray dog.
Doggy, where's your home?
Where do you belong? So I almost had a dog with me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a scruffy dog, Elliot.
It was a scruffy dog.
It was a scruffy dog. So I almost picked it up
You should have.
so that Elliot could take it home.
Would have made him mine.
Yeah.
You're mine now.
You're
you
mine.
live with
He would
me.
be my
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
No, we can't steal them because they're not cats. You can steal cats. Cats are stealable
But
animals.
if a dog is like chilling in the street, you can't steal it.
Yes, you can.
I think you can.
Depends on
And then
the
you
dog.
and then you name him Scruffy.
Because
There you go.
obviously the owner doesn't care. Because if they cared, the dog wouldn't be in the street.
You know, there are dog owners that kind of just like let their dogs go places.
I
I'm like,
cannot
why the
imagine.
f-
understand that.
Do you have a
Because
dog?
they're wild animals at the end of the day.
You know,
They're meant to roam.
it is funny because we have 4 dogs, but one of them's really old. The pit terrier that we have, Ollie, super old. And I have 2 Great Danes, and we just recently got a Cocker Spaniel, right? Right.
It's an interesting mix.
It is. And, one's super small, but his name's Bailey. So now there's 2 male dogs, 2 female dogs. And Bailey tries to like jump around on the big dogs, right? Because Goose is always playing with Poppy. So as the other male, he thinks that that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to jump and try to play with Poppy. So when I open up the front door, they just all book it to the front yard and go like freaking out. And then they'll book it back in. But they're really good about listening to me. If I'm like inside, they turn around, they get their asses inside. Actually, Greg, Bruno, may he rest in peace. I still love that dog. My girls to this day still bring up Bruno.
He was a cool dog.
Oh my God. I can't find another one. I can't find so it's a Rotterman. It was a Rottweiler Doberman mix. And Greg saved this you named him Backup.
Yeah.
And then you got him and you saved him from the dude that you're like, this guy is shady. I need to take this dog. Right.
It was just some random guy up in Madeira somewhere.
Yeah.
Not harping on Madeira. Madeira's a cool town, but it was just, the dude was just super shady. And I was just like, man, I got to at least get one of these dogs home.
Right. And we loved that dog. But the thing about Bruno is that he was a little bit aggressive. So like
a little goofy.
No, he was a little aggressive in the beginning. So I remember taking him, I took him to the vet and the vet's like, yeah, you're going to have to get him neutered like immediately. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. So we got him neutered, and then he was the best dog you could ever fucking have, man. He was protective of the family. He was so good with the children. Like, we have little baby girls, right? And you always like a little bit nervous whenever any dog is around little children, right? And he would let them jump on him and play with them. He'd just be like, you know what I mean? Like, I have so many pictures of him like protecting them. And then there's that story about that dude in our berm that was like talking shit, right? And Bruno was like he wanted to go fuck this guy. Like, he was the best dog, and he unfortunately died of organ failure randomly. Yeah, crushed me.
Crazy.
Crushed me. And I've been looking for another Rotterman.
Yeah.
And I can't find him. Can't find him anywhere. Like, you might be able to, like, one person has like a litter in Texas or some shit.
Have you tried Craigslist?
Sounds like you got to do a road trip to Texas.
I have looked for dogs on Craigslist. The one time I found a dog on Craigslist, it was a woman in Madeira. Shout out Madeira. Madeira must have a lot of dogs.
My dog's from
Madeira,
baby.
too.
Really? So it was a Great Dane, and this is after Dakota died. And she's like, "Yeah, we just need to get rid of him. A rehoming fee is $200." I'm like, "I'll take him." So I drive out there. It's probably about 4 or 5 months old. His name's Zeus. This full white, kind of beautiful Great Dane male. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take him. I'm like, yeah, $200. She's like, oh, I meant 2,000. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Wow. All right, I'll see you later then.
I still offered her $1,000. I was like, I'll give you 1,000 for him right now. And she was like, no.
She doesn't
Oh my God.
She doesn't know how to haggle.
No.
Well, the whole like rehoming fee thing, you know how a lot of people are like, you should charge a rehoming fee to make sure it goes to a good family. I'm like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
If you need someone to take a dog off your hands and then you're like, oh, but also give me money.
Yeah.
Yeah, pass.
I don't think I've ever charged anyone if we had to rehome an animal, which seldom happens because we're the fucking animal house. But I don't know. The rehoming fee seems like a little shadester.
I think so too.
Just a little extra, little cash in the pocket, man.
Yeah. So anyways, good morning. Welcome to episode 6 of the Do Over podcast in our new studio. Feeling good. We got Greg here, and we're going to be talking about transitioning from service to civilian life, kind of. And I think that's important to talk about because when I say good guy Greg, I mean good guy Greg. Greg's like the best guy ever. And I sincerely mean this. He's just the best dude.
I mean, so what that he's tall, big muscles, great beard, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not everything.
Yeah. He also has an array of Hawaiian shirts. Who cares that he's cool?
Wait,
all right,
you wear Hawaiian shirts too?
Absolutely.
You're my guy.
buddy. There's a video of him shooting a fucking machine gun with Hawaiian shirts on in Vegas, which we will talk about.
I feel like there's a lot of man crushing happening right now.
Greg's just that guy. I
love
talked about the last episode. You know how like you could be friends with people, even then when you see them randomly somewhere, you're like, oh man, I don't know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whenever I see Graham, I'm like, Greg!
Yeah.
Yes! You know?
Oh.
I mean, just bring that energy, man.
Yeah.
Respectful. I'm like doing a set and he waited till I was done.
To come up and talk to you.
Wow.
So, okay. I've been in and out of the gym since I was like 15.
Right.
And
You don't say.
You don't say, Greg.
Since I was like 10. No big deal.
Since I was 5 when I was bench pressing with Mike Tyson back in the day.
I was removed from my mother's,
Yeah.
I'll be 42 next month. And you pick up a lot of gym etiquette.
Yeah.
Like do's and don'ts. One of the biggest things that really gets me is people who don't re-rack their weights. That is the biggest, like, I'm going to fucking murder someone.
Right.
Question though.
Yes.
Let's say somebody had like 3 plates on bench, super swole guy. They take off 2 plates on each side, so it's 135. You okay with that or not?
I'm not. Because it's not fair to assume the person who's taking that next piece of equipment is going to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right off the bat.
Hello?
That's
like
true.
You just can't.
I mean, this is going to sound mean. If you can't bench 135, maybe stick to dumbbells.
I don't think I could bench 135.
Says the man who can't bench 135. You can't
Shots
bench
fired.
135.
135 is like the most basic weight.
Nah. I don't know. Maybe I can't bench 135.
I don't think I could.
Maybe
no.
I can't. I don't know.
I want to bench off once upon a time, okay?
At my highest, I was benching 230.
That's good.
Like I would bench 230 10 times, 3 times in a row.
That's really good. That's great.
That
even.
was my max.
That's
What do you
incredibly
bench, Greg?
strong.
I hit a 1.5 rep max. I got 1 and then I went for a second rep, but I failed halfway up. About a month ago, I had 3 plates on there. So I was 315.
That's
Jesus Christ.
pretty damn
And so
badass.
you're going for like big weight, like you try to do just like as much as heavy as you possibly can, like once or twice.
How do you do it without destroying your shoulder? Because I did that weight once when I was 195. Got it up once, felt great. Got it up twice with a spotter, and I couldn't lift my shoulder up for 9 months after.
So I can't stress this enough. Form.
Bad form, Elliot.
Complete.
You have bad form.
Total form.
It was probably bad form.
As you
It was probably
start
bad
getting from my experience, as you start getting more heavier and heavier, your form will start to slip a little bit, and it is what it is. But if you can just maintain the best form as possible, it's going to be night and day difference. So you really need to put your ego down for a little while.
Can't ego
that's
lift.
gonna be
Can't
it's
ego
gonna be
lift.
hard for
Can't ego lift.
Elliot's
No.
an ego monster.
I used to be.
One of the biggest problems I see, especially with newcomers, right, is it's very intimidating. It's very, very intimidating. And so you walk in there, especially January. January sucks.
Yeah.
because everyone's there.
Everybody's there.
Yeah.
And shout out to those people who are trying to make a difference in their lives. That's really, really cool. I'm never going to fault someone who is completely out of shape for being in the gym.
Right.
If you're in the gym, you're a safe space with
Yeah.
me.
That's
I'm proud
awesome.
of you.
Yeah.
You went to the gym.
You tried.
Yeah, you're doing something.
Yeah.
And so the problem is you see all these people around who are, better off than you are. Well, you also have to understand that they didn't start that way.
No.
Yeah.
No one does.
There was one point in their life where they walked in and were just like, they probably look like you or worse than you do now.
Right.
It's like, okay, they put in the time, the discipline. That's respectable. I see that and I go, wow, that person's worked really hard. That's really cool. And so what I do is, for me, it doesn't matter what day or time I'm in the gym. I don't see anybody else in there. I just see me.
Right.
Mhm.
So I can focus on myself. And yeah, there's people walking around, whatever, but that's not my attention grabber.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm focused in the mirror. Like I'm focused on this next set. I'm mentally preparing myself. I'm pushing as hard as I can. And my whole thing is I just want to lift heavy stuff as much as I can and get strong. That's it.
Dude
Right.
might be the main character. He might be the main character. Like the more I'm hearing from
Because
him
it doesn't stop there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the guns and
But,
the
like-
service and all that. We're going to talk about
He
that.
said he doesn't see anyone else, but he did see me. So maybe I'm the main character.
Yeah, maybe I'm just unavoidable. I don't know.
Sorry.
Something about it.
Sorry for distracting
No,
you.
see, like so when I I got in mad shape around my junior year. I was like, enough's enough. I need to start shedding this weight. And I started doing free weights at home. So my dad bought a bench and I was doing 2-a-days like every day. I probably lost like 40 pounds through the summer just working weights, kicking a heavy bag and stuff. And then I got progressively more fit. So I would work, free weights at home because that was like my thing. Throughout the years, I've tried to like go to the gym and do the free weights. And just like what you said, the free weight section of the gym is
a zoo.
Not only is it a zoo, it's intimidating. And it's like, yeah, I know how to do that. Why don't I go over there? But I'm like, these machines are fine.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy like,
you got to join
doing this.
Yeah. You got to join the
guys.
You're doing your Kegels.
No, man.
Do my Kegel exercises. Oh, what's up, boys? Don't mind me. Get in shape. New year, new me. Anyways,
no, you gotta join the jungle when you're in there, man.
Dude, I know.
Embrace it.
No, I would love, and we're gonna talk about this because challenge time.
Challenge time. It's not even
motherfucker. Are you going to Hawaii or not?
I am going to Hawaii, but also, there's a lot of drinking holidays coming up.
Yeah, but look,
there's a lot of stuff coming up.
Alcohol's allowed. See, Greg is always busting my balls to go back to the gym.
This is true.
Everyone's busting my balls to go back to the gym.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. So maybe that's something that we need to talk about coming up a little bit later on. But before we get started in the whole time.
Have we not been started?
I mean, no.
Have we not been recording this whole time?
No. What? Yes. I just want to give a shout out, okay? Because a couple of weeks ago on Taps and Takes, I did a call out. Let me pause that.
Yeah, you should pause that.
I did call out. I was like, look, I'm going to do a good morning in the tune of something, a show. All right. First person to tell me what show that is, you're going to win the very first shirt we ever print for the Do Over podcast, right? Because a lot of people are asking for merch, and Patreon people will get to you in a second. But they're like, we need a shirt. We want shirts. I was like, okay, let's make this fun. Let's gamify this a little bit, right? So I did a good morning. It was like, good morning. Good morning. I thought it was a no-brainer. I forget that me and Greg are past 40 years old. So maybe it's not a no-brainer for all of our fans. I forget my age at times, but someone got it this morning. Are you ready? All right, I'm going to play it. Super fighting robot, Mega Man. Hey, you got
Orky's doing the shoulders in there.
Yeah. No, it's great. The guy who got it, let me give him a shout out. Let me pull up the video so I can give him a shout out. It's super catchy, and that was like crazy kind of how do I put this? It was like kind of crazy in terms of like how good the animation was.
Oh yeah,
for a Mega Man like throwaway cartoon.
That was on Fox 4 Kids at 6 a.m. Used to watch that all the time before X-Men and Spider-Man, but the good one, the 97 one.
X-Men was my jam.
It's 100%. Drift-Arudo. Whoa. Drift-Arudo? Drift-Arudo. He is the official winner of the challenge. Jeff-Arudo. He's the official winner of the challenge that we threw out there. So yes, it is Mega Man. That is that. Wait, no. It's not Eek the Cat. It is definitely Mega Man. So there you go. Round of applause.
Yeah!
You're now the official winner of the very first ever. God damn it, Orc! What the fuck, dude? God damn it, Orc!
I love that.
God damn it, Orc! Why would you give him that?
Because you like fun.
Brilliant.
Yeah, just fuck, man. And now Sarah's guessing Inspector Gadget. No.
That's not bad either, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of in the same realm.
Now,
human robot.
To our Patreon members, we love you. Thank you very much. There's some new people on there as well. It's keeping on gaining up. A couple people hit me up that are in that mega tier. They're like, I think we're owed a car wash.
Oh.
So if you read the tiers on our Patreon, I kind of like didn't expect anyone to do some of the bigger ones because there was kind of like a goof, right? And one of them was like,
we're just goofing.
I was like, hey, yeah, we'll wash your car once a month. there's a couple people that are trying to collect on that. So we might be watching some cars. Look, man, I got it down.
You're going to trust me, the queen of horrible car experiences?
No, all you have to do is look good while we do it and just be like, okay.
Knowing
and
her
like
just
splash water and like we'll take care of the rest.
Knowing her just being near a car and like a taillight's going to go out or like the oil's going to leak out or something.
All right,
He's not wrong.
let's talk about what the fuck's going on with your car now.
Okay. So on like Tuesday, I think it was, I walk out of the salon and go to where I'm always parked. Elliot.
What?
And I'm on the phone, right? And I'm like, yum, 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 you know.
So wait, you're on the phone?
Walking from the salon to my car, I am on the phone. Yes, I'm not in my car, but then I get in my car and I see something on my windshield.
Right.
And all I see is like in quotes 559. I'm all, not someone leaving me their number.
Ooh, look at that. See, I am unavoidable. Everyone just stares at me wherever I go.
So I'm like talking to my friend on the phone and I'm like, oh my God, like someone left me their number. And then I like look at it and I go, oh wait, and their license. It was weird. It was like a photocopy of their driver's license and their insurance card. I don't know if they just like have that on them.
They must be hitting a lot of people.
I know.
They have it like on copies.
Just have copies.
Yeah.
Of
I
that
know.
hanging out in your car.
Right.
I was like, what the heck? But I was like, that's really weird. And she's all, babe, you got hit. And I'm like, oh my God, of course. And so, well, so I walk around and there's glass shattered around my car. And so they must have either like bumped in when they were backing up or they just drove around a corner too fast or something and wasn't paying attention. But my back left side of my bumper and where the blinker is like,
it's like just on the ground, or is it just dented?
It's really dented, but where the blinker is, that's where all the glass was shattered from. They hit my blinker. And so I was like, oh my God. But then I'm over here like, who cares? This car has been through so much. Like, I'm not upset by it. This woman left me her information. She didn't hit and run. So bless up.
I mean, she technically did. She left you the card.
Yeah.
She didn't know where I was,
that could be her friend's card and you don't know.
Let's point out something though. When it comes to assholes hitting your car and then leaving, she's the best asshole to hit a car and leave.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
She left all of her information, her contact info. Like, that's a good person to do something like that.
I almost even felt bad. Like, I didn't want to file a claim. Like, I was like, oh, you know, she did her due diligence. Like, it's fine.
Are you fixing the car? Like, why?
So,
like, at this point, why?
Well, you got to get the taillight fixed. Otherwise, the police will.
I don't want to get pulled over. That's exactly what it is. So I filed a claim. Everything went fine. But then yesterday, let me tell you about yesterday really quick.
Okay.
Cue the sounder.
Which one?
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. I've got it. Whenever you need it.
Right now.
You start, then he'll drop it at an important moment.
Okay. So I go to Caliber Collision. Shout out Caliber Collision. And the really sweet girl there is like, okay, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And I have my dad with me because, like, I just a girl.
You just baby.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
You know.
I have girl brain. I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing. Mind you, this particular Caliber Collision has fixed my car 4 times.
You're like Norm at this point. You just go in,
Jess, how you doing?
I don't know how they don't recognize me at this point.
Do you have one of those membership cards where they like
a stamp card? I should.
Yeah.
I
Your
should.
10th one is free.
At the 10th one, then I'll just get a new car already. God. So we get it all figured out. And then she's all, do you have a rental car ready? And I was like, well, my insurance lady told me over the phone, we're going to have one. You'll just have to go get it like after you drop your car off at Caliber Collision. I'm like, do we have one? She's all, yeah, let me call. Calls, I'm waiting. She's all, they don't have any.
Oh.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Because I need a car.
Right.
Like, I have things I need to do.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Do you know me? I'm on the Do Over podcast.
I'm like so busy.
Yeah, I'm literally so busy. And she's all, oh, I called the wrong company. Hang on. And I was like, okay. So she calls. She's all, they do have one. And I'm like, sweet. So I go to the rental car company. And she's like, okay, like we need the policy number and yada, yada, yada. So for some reason, this whole time, my dad has been getting the updates about like my claim and things like that. But I have my own policy. So he's like, why am I? And I'm like, I don't know. So they don't want to give me a car because my dad's not the one driving it.
Oh, no way.
And my dad's like, listen here, my daughter needs a car.
My name is Daryl.
My name's Daryl. Do you even
need to
understand? Yeah, my daughter needs a car. And she's like, I don't know what to tell you because yeah. And so I don't know if this is a universal dad thing, but when my dad gets annoyed, it like really bothers me because we're on the phone with the State Farm guy and he's like, hi, yeah. You can tell he skateboards. He's like,
I tell you, fucking cars, dude. One time I 50-50 like a car in a junkyard. You're so sick.
Dude, I hit a sick grind at the junkyard the other day.
I backside Smith that bitch, dude, right on the bumper.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, my name is Jessica. For some reason, like, I don't have my own, like, I have my own car insurance, so I don't understand what's happening. And he's like, well, it looks here like you're under Daryl. So then my dad grabs the phone and he's like, nope, she's not under mine. She has her own. Da, 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 da. So then he starts like, my dad does not go off on people.
Right.
So when he does, I'm like, ooh. Ooh. And so we end up just hanging up on him because it's not working. And the lady finally goes, well, did he say that you are under Daryl? And she's like looking at me like,
right.
And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, then we can give you the car. And I'm like, okay, period. So then we leave. I get my car, right? My dad must have called my mom in some sort of dither.
Yeah, in some anger.
So, yeah. And so then my mom calls me and she's like, I need you need you to bleep this name out for me, okay? I need number, the girl that hit
you. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
It'd be great if it was Darren as
Yeah.
It was me, Barry.
Yeah.
He's like, no, Darren didn't hit your car.
It was always her.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. But I don't have it on me. I had left it in my car at Caliber Collision. So I'm like, I don't have it. And she's like, well, neither do they. And I'm like, who's they? And she's like, State Farm. Let me tell you, I went through rigmarole with State Farm. Rigmarole. Yeah. Rigmarole. So then I'm like, okay. So I have to go back to Caliber Collision. And I'm like, wait, guys, don't touch my car. Because they were also going to charge me $250. And I was like, that's fine. But like, I'm not the one that got in the accident. I got hit. So shouldn't she be the one?
Yeah.
And so I'm all, don't touch my car yet. Hang on. So I go and get info. I call my mom back and she's like, oh my God, they do have info. And I'm like, what is happening?
What? Okay. As you're telling the story, I'm kind of frustrated for you.
Oh, I'm was like
what the
no, poor mom. Because she also works full time. So she's like, I have things I need to do.
Right.
And what is going on? And I'm like, I don't know, but I got to go to work. So,
figure it out.
Figure it out, mom.
Figure it out, Ma. This is now your problem.
I know I'm like a 30-year-old adult.
Right.
But you're going to, you figure it out.
But you know what? I just baby. Okay.
Exactly.
I might be a strong and independent woman, but also when it comes to real human things, I need my parents to do it.
Yeah.
I need my mom and dad.
Yeah. I may be independent, but I am not that independent.
There are two things I will always need help with. My taxes and anything car related.
Literally. So she then calls State Farm. They're like, we do have her info. We'll get it figured out. Well, then they don't get it figured out. So Caliber Collision calls my mom and they're like, they didn't figure it out. And she's like, what? So then she calls State Farm again and she's like, I need to speak to somebody else. Like, somebody direct me to someone with a brain here. Because
and then homeboy answers. He's like, whoa, brain. Like, dude, one time I was tripping on acid. My brain was fucking inverted, dude. Whoa. It's kind of like how I inverted off this fucking nollie grind. Anyway.
So they finally get it figured out. And then I call my mom a little bit later and she's a little irritated with me. And I'm like, what did I do? And she goes, well, I just listened to your podcast where you said that I'm hard on you.
Man.
Busted.
Who would have thought there would be consequences to my actions?
It's not like we taped this and put it on the internet. We're this forever.
Absolutely not.
And she says, because you know, she's the one that she solves everything for me. She got me out of my divorce. She served my ex-husband with papers. She moved me out. Like,
wait, hold on. Did she do it like this?
Sign it now. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
She served.
Like, yeah, literally. Like,
yeah, making it rain divorce papers.
She does literally everything for me. But all I said in the podcast was my dad is not the hard one. My mom and my brother have always been harder on me.
To be fair, I think you said something like they don't like you.
Right. They don't.
Yeah.
Well,
way to double down on that, by the way.
Well, so then she goes, you're lucky I don't get offended by things because, you know, I just did everything for you today. But, you know, your dad gets all the credit. Because in the podcast, I said, my dad's great. He doesn't get mad at me ever. He loves me.
I'm his little princess.
I just baby. So I'm like, oh, no. I know.
Mom.
I know.
I mean, like...
I'm like, Mom, no, I didn't mean it like that. Like, you were just harder on me. And she's like, I know. But I could tell she was offended.
Yeah, but we've been... Hold on. May I?
You may.
Let me just step in for a second.
Yeah.
We've been singing the praises of Almond Mom for
Let me
about
tell
a year
you
and a half
something.
now. 2 years.
My mom.
To be fair, though, we haven't been saying enough here.
And you know what?
True.
My mom.
It's a whole new thing.
My mom was worried that her claim to fame was going to disappear because she's like, is Almond Mom not a thing anymore?
See? She's feeling neglected.
So
I see.
I want to shout out Almond Mom. She does everything and she's hot. Yay!
Yeah, her mom is unusually hot.
And
I'm just like...
And it's not that she doesn't like me. She just thinks I'm out of pocket.
Oh, okay.
That's the correction.
Okay.
It sounds like you don't like her more than she doesn't
no,
like you.
I love her. She does literally everything for me. But
Jess secretly.
yeah.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
To me?
No, what you secretly think of Almond Mom.
No. Also, Orc, cut that out. She's going to be offended. No.
Don't do it, Orc. Don't do it.
Do you have multiple just pages up that you're clicking through?
I might have some tabs up. Don't worry about it.
Oh, good.
You
This is
just
going
got
to
a
be a
couple.
thing now? Is this like a normal thing?
It's like 2 or 3 times.
Well, look,
I like it.
Look.
We're going to have to figure this out here.
I like it.
I've been reviewing the sods.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing enough sounders. I don't.
Yeah,
need-
but I
we
also don't
need
want to
it
be like...
all- we don't need it all the time. But sprinkled in more.
Okay.
And that's what I'm here for. When you're busy setting everything up, you need someone to come through with some sounders.
I agree.
Okay. Well, we know what Jess has been up to this last week.
But I need one more sounder.
Which
What?
one?
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
All right, I'll work on that one.
He'll
work on
He'll
it.
get
I'll
that
work
out there.
I gotta find these things, all right? I don't just have a bank of them, all right? I gotta do the hard investigations.
So right now we're doing Hump to Hump. We heard what Jess has been up to. So that's been a fun story. Ellie, what have you been up to this last week? You've been working?
Yeah, I've been working.
So what's the deal, huh?
The deal's good. Fairway Lounge, cool little spot here on Friant. You should definitely check it out.
We have plans too.
We do.
Liquor license should be coming up.
But you need to be
in,
working when we're there.
a few
Yeah.
weeks. Should be coming up in about a week or two.
Do we wait till the liquor license happens?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I would, because the drinks are going to be incredible.
Oh, I'm getting
The food is-
sloppy.
The food is insanely good. I'm going to say
Hold
that.
on.
Do not. Do not.
I can't play that?
Oh my God.
It's pretty funny. I can't play it?
You can if you want. Whatever.
Okay. So
I don't know what they're.
I
See,
had,
this is why you have sounders ready. See,
Oh,
this
like-
is why you need guys like me.
I had this.
Whatever you say, Daddy.
Okay.
Whatever you want, Daddy. I want you.
Okay.
I want you.
Okay.
You're taking me home, right?
Yep.
You are taking me home.
Sure.
You're the one's taking me home, right?
It's so like glitchy, but it's pretty damn good.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And he was like, how quick do you need it? I'm like, by today. He's like,
By today is
By
crazy.
today.
He's like, don't worry. I got you.
What else is he doing all day?
Oh, he's
Steve?
working. He works.
Get back to
He's a
work.
working
Working
works.
man.
So
He's a working
you're
man.
out there working.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
doing
Working. Got myself had myself a little drunk review of Dogman.
Okay.
We'll talk about. Weirdly wholesome.
What?
Like it's an animated movie, and when you see it, it's that very much Captain Underpants art style, because Dave Pinkley, he's the one who did Captain America or Captain Underpants and Dogman. So it's from his like creation, and they did the art style justice. But Pete Davidson, man, he was star of the show.
He's
He
in
crushed
that?
it.
He crushed.
Okay, daddy.
He's essentially playing.
He's BD energy.
Well, he's essentially playing himself, like his story, as Petey the cat. So it was like it was a character made for him.
Oh, really?
But he was the best part of the movie.
So it's good.
It's not like up there in the Mount Rushmores of DreamWorks, but it's a good movie. I gave it a, you know what?
We'll save it.
Go to rantsnetwork.com.
Yeah.
For review.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it during TV
No,
on
that's
the internet.
enough.
Oh, okay.
All right,
apparently we won't.
all right, guys, we'll talk about my awesome work later.
Elliot,
Drew,
see, fucking sugar. These goddamn motherfuckers.
yes, please.
So just work? Nothing else?
Just been working, man. Just been working,
Ooh, look at
and got myself into the gym because I've been a bit of a plumpy boy.
More on that later.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a new challenge.
You know what? Let's just for hump to hump. Let's just say hump to hump. Besides Elliot, because he can just wait. He can just wait.
Elliot, we're gonna do a new challenge, and it's gonna be for me. Look, you're helping me.
All right.
Okay.
Am I your trainer?
Possibly.
You should
but
do
no,
that.
Look. There is something that's happening that everyone wants.
Steroids.
Yes. I'm like, Greg, anyone?
I know
We'll call it.
I may know somebody.
I got it. We'll call it the trending challenge, where we just get on trend.
No, we'll talk about it because everyone's been on my ass about something.
Steroids?
No.
About what?
Fucking smoking.
Oh my God.
You don't say.
I've had enough.
Hold
God,
on,
I wish.
okay, Arian, shut the fuck up.
I wish I had a sounder of I'm quitting. I'm quitting.
I'm quitting.
I'm quitting. I'm done.
actually quitting this time.
No. Challenge coming up. Greg, what have you been up to this last week?
Nothing.
Cool. All right, I like it.
No, lots of work.
He's been in the gym.
I've been in the gym a couple times. So if I can help it, I'm usually in there like 5 or 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not a competition.
He said a couple times. I'm
He's
there
like-
every single day.
He's like, a couple times every day.
So
Couple times a day.
yeah.
So disclaimer, I am not a certified trainer with any organization or anything.
Right.
It's
just a certified lover.
it's just
Just a certified badass. That's my bad motherfucker
it's
right
just
there.
it's just
Certified alpha.
It's just my personal experiences. Find out what works for me. So anything I say on here, like if you like it, cool. If not, then great.
Yeah.
Right? But no, I like to get in the gym quite a bit. I work in executive protection in the Bay Area. If you don't know what that is, it's like whenever you see these like multi-billionaire CEOs walking around or the Hollywood types, they'll have people around them. And sometimes it's very, very obvious. And sometimes you don't see those people.
Right.
That's kind of what I do.
He's like part of the squad that you
He's the
don't
guy-
really see but do see.
He's the guy you don't see, and that's the scary part.
And we're going to save like kind of the details because I know you're kind of limited on what you can and cannot share about that stuff. So we'll be
Correct.
careful about how we skirt around that
That's
out of respect for you.
Okay,
But
hang on. Let me ask though, without asking.
Sure.
Like world-class athlete?
I cannot confirm or deny that this time.
we won't talk about clients. We will not talk about clients, but I will ask you this question before because we're going to talk about it later.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, does the client, are they able to request how armed you are?
Yes.
Or is there just like a standard kind of issue that you have? Like, can they be like, I want 6 guys all with Mac 11s?
All with nunchucks.
Yeah.
So it's entirely depends on what the principal wants.
Yeah.
And funny story is quite often these folks are not very interested in a lot of security
Mhm.
because a lot of them are trying to just live normal lives
Yeah.
despite what they do for a living. Like
And like, look, and if you are a billionaire,
Mhm.
like a billionaire, like I even said, if I ever won, like say I was blessed to win $1 billion lottery pool, right? I'm calling Greg immediately. And I'm like, you have to protect yourself because,
Protect me, daddy.
well, no, look, because people like that are rich like that, their children are targets for kidnapping and being held hostage to get money. That, right?
Yep.
Like, I think it's smart.
No, 100%. And once you get into a certain annual net income, it's more or less a requirement at this point.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you'll be a part of a larger organization. There'll be a board involved. And the board will often make those decisions for you, saying, hey, no, you're going to be protected. You're going to have security whether you like it or not. Some of them don't like it. Some are like, okay, I understand. And so you'll based on those numbers, you'll decide who's going to be doing what.
Right.
A lot of clients, people, like big names, very limited profile, very limited footprints. So I was watching an interview with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he was talking about how he just can't go to the supermarket.
Right. And it's true. He can't.
The logistics involved. So just to give you an example. All right. Let's say, Drew, you're my billionaire principal.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. 50-50 Smith grinding in my backyard. I'm a billionaire.
It's Saturday morning and you say, hey, I want to take the wife to dinner tonight at, Ruth's Chris.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Great happy hour.
Ruth's Chris.
Great happy hour there.
We go, okay, cool. I'm going to say best case scenario, you have a team of like 6 agents for you, right?
Yeah.
And you'll have a team just assigned for you and a team assigned for the wife.
Got it.
The contract will be for you unless stated otherwise. And then we protect the wife as a favor as per your request.
Got it.
Because oftentimes it's not in a contract.
Got it.
It's just like, okay, we'll guard her because you want us to, that's fine.
Right.
Or it can be in the contract. It's not required, but ideally you will have an agent do what's called an advance. The advance agent will recon the area first. He or she will drive the route to the site, wherever they're going. They'll pick a primary route, a secondary route, and then a tertiary route, just in case something happens or construction, whatever. Okay. They'll get that estimated time of drive time during the time they go there. They get to the site themselves. They take photos. This is the main entrance. This is where we're going to park. This is the drop point.
And this is all being funneled in as information, correct, almost like a mission to get these people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you'll make contact with the owner. Hey, my name's so-and-so. We have a VIP coming in for dinner tonight at this time. We have an appointment, whatever. Okay, cool. We have them. Great. Where's their table? Okay, we want to sit them right here. He'll take a photo of the table. This is where you guys are going to be. Here's the nearest restroom. These are the emergency exits. See if you have to go this way. All right. Here's what the back of the building looks like. Here's a picture of it.
Damn.
When you leave, we're going to exfil this way. You're going to drive that direction down this street. And it's a whole thing. You got to write a big report, submit that to
before you go?
Before you go.
So this is like a week in advance.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I want to go out to Ruth Chris.
Oh, no, this is
Thursday.
This is day of.
This is day of.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a lot.
So, and if you have a really cool principal, you'll know these things well far in advance.
Right.
Right. But sometimes they'll just be like, hey, I feel like going here right now.
Yeah.
Somebody give me a ride. You're like, oh, okay, cool. But with this, it's like you actually have some time. And so you're putting all this in and you're printing out like, okay, these are the directions we're going to go. Here's the nearest hospital. Here's the nearest police station. Here's the nearest fire station. Like you need to know these things in advance in case shit goes south.
Damn.
Because when you're on that level and people know where you're going to be, things can go south.
And for anyone that wants to be like, no, that's bullshit. Literally a CEO of United Health got clipped like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, and it's like, I don't want to use the term funny. It's not funny, but I mean, when you are that person with that much power, right? And that big of a position that probably gets death threats daily. Why was he walking down the street with nobody? Right? Is my question. With no one with him. And that is kind of crazy to me that he's just, and yeah, it's New York. It's Manhattan. You don't think, people get shot and killed in New York every day, but you don't think like in the central hub of Manhattan, Times Square area, that anything like that would be happening, right? Dude got killed in a very high profile case. And that's the first thing that came through my mind was like, why did he not have security on him? And he was going to a very important meeting, right? Mm-hmm. It was, important. They were going to talk about their year coming up and stuff like that. And he gets killed on the way there. And he was only making $10 million a year only, but he's in charge of this $500 billion producing company. And when you say there are board members and you need to protect those members and, it just all cascades to the ground, that service is vitally important.
Yeah.
Like, Elliot, do you think that if you won $1 billion, you would go and get security to be on you?
Never really thought about it, tell you the truth. One, because it was like, it's a dream, right?
Right.
But
do
like,
people know that he has $1 billion?
well, in California,
I mean, if you're a billionaire, you're on a short list.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Like, you're on a very short list.
well, then
so
if you
people
like,
know.
and
Yeah.
like if you win the lottery here in California, like they tell you who wins it, which I think is
It's
total-
required.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
It's
think
required.
that's
That's
super
so
dumb.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
so dumb. It's
Yeah.
just like, hey, here's a giant target
Well, I
on
think
this guy.
I think they do that to quell suspicions of corruption. Like, you know, Anonymous picked up his money. Well, who's Anonymous?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And you give someone that kind of power, I could see people taking advantage of that system. And we're heavily taxed in as far as winnings are concerned. There's states that if you win something like that, you don't even pay, you just pay the federal tax and the state tax, but it's not like half. The funny thing about California, good old California, which we're talking about the high-speed rail later, but if you win the lottery, it's taxed 47%. Like anything that is that large is taxed 47%. And then you have to pay federal taxes on it as income. So if you get like $1 billion, you're still going to walk away with hundreds of millions, but it's only like 3. And I'd say like $300 million is a lot. Of course it is. It's
a huge amount of money.
that is like family lineage money,
Mhm.
right? Let's get that right.
Oh, yeah.
But still, 70% of
Yeah.
it is gone.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of wild.
No, it's
So-
nuts.
The fact that it's not that you have to, I think that's cool that you do that. I think and this is one of the things I love about Greg. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later on after we get to our stories and stuff like that, when we get to some open breaks. But Greg has a history in the military. Okay. He's in this kind of a field, you know, it's comfortable for him. He's also a firearms instructor. And we really bonded over that because, and this morning, I'll talk about my morning in a second, but my daughter, she was like on one, like joking around. And it was funny because I don't even know where she got this. She was doing impressions of people. And she's like, my name's Taylor. I'm so fan, you know, whatever. And then she's all, let me do my dad. And then she's like, I don't like my kids. I love my guns. I'm like, what are you? What? It's not like I'm going around showing people pictures of my guns. Like, you know what I mean? It's
I don't
what-
like my kids. I love my
I
guns.
don't know
He's like,
where she even got
He's
that.
like, these are my babies.
Dude,
And
it's
just
funny.
his gun locker.
as pro 2A as I am, right? Like my guns, especially with my children, they're locked up. They don't see my firearms. Like I don't like play with guns. You know what I mean? So I don't know where she got that
That's
from. This-
amazing.
You might have a problem.
yeah, maybe I got a little problem. But like, it's funny because he is all the things of like a protecting male would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, stop making me look bad in front of fucking everyone, man. Like stop. Okay. You can't
Yeah.
be around my wife. Okay. You're not allowed to come over.
Chill, my wife.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, no. If I won $1 billion, I'm not hiring Greg. I don't want him anywhere near my wife.
No way. You need a, like, if you're gonna do a bodyguard kind of thing, you need someone you can vibe with. You need a chill
Mhm.
dude.
Yeah.
Greg's a chill dude. Like,
I am pretty
You-
chill.
you're basically paying for a friend
Well, this
who
is the
happens
thing.
to know how to kill somebody.
Yeah, very efficiently and
Yeah.
in many different ways, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that because I feel like it could be of service to people to talk about how being an active military member, and you were deployed, right?
Correct.
More than once or just once?
I was in Iraq in 2008 and Afghanistan in 2010.
Okay, so he's done some time in that field, and I want to talk about kind of how you reintegrate into civilian life and how do you still have that kind of like fun side of life,
That optimism.
that optimism, that fun side of life, because I'm sure that there's a lot of unsaid stuff that a lot of ex-military and PTSD and things like that. And I feel like it's important to give those people those resources or just hear stories from other people that have managed to excel outside of that.
Lots of cocaine.
Yeah.
Nice.
So much drugs.
All right.
Drew, so
Finally.
much drugs. He's all steroids, cocaine, and blowjobs. That's how you do
That's
it,
it,
baby.
the trifecta. Yep.
Who would have thought that was the recipe to a successful life?
Now, I just want to get to this real quick. My morning was fucking nuts.
Mhm.
Nuts, dude. So we have a flip property and it's not in a bad area, but I get really nervous about empty houses,
Mhm.
right? we've had, 5 or 6 of these so far, and we always have at least one problem with someone trying to get in or something because it's the nature of people walking down the street, either homeless or squatters or whatever. And again, this isn't not a bad area, but I'm like, we need to protect our investment. So whenever we have one of these, I'm usually like, hey, we need to put someone sleeping in there, at least at night. Like during the day, it's fine, but at night they need to be there. So we have someone that's staying there. Well, he can't do it for the rest of the week. And I told Sarah, I was like, listen, on recording days, i.e. today, it is difficult for me to like get up, do whatever I need to do, and then go record it. Like I need to be on my A game, right? I need to be on my A game.
Gotta be locked in.
I need to be locked in. A game.
Locked in.
Right. So she's like, yeah, whatever. You need to go. So I slept there. I'm on a inflatable bed, right? I'm cold. I don't know what happened, but all I do is I get a call at 7:42 a.m. and it's her FaceTiming. She's like, "Are you gonna be here to take the girls to school?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh shit, I need to go." Like she's gonna be pissed if I don't. Rush up, get over to the house. Okay, I show up like 2 minutes left to get the girls to school. I'm disheveled. I'm wearing the same clothes I was wearing yesterday. I'm like, let's go, girls, let's go. I get the girls over there. I have to jump in the shower real quick to get ready. I'm trying to like pack up all my shit. I'm just like, Sarah, can you just let me? And then one of the uploads for Taps and Takes was bad.
Yeah.
So I had to go and fix that.
I was like,
in the middle of doing all this shit.
I just like wanted to see. I don't always like watching myself back on these things. I'm my biggest critic. I'm like, oh my God, I look like I weigh 8 million pounds.
You and me both, sister.
No, you don't.
I looked up the Taps and Takes and I was like, okay, there's a lot of me happening and a lot of me not knowing what I'm talking about. So what's going on? So I'm glad you fixed that. Thank you.
I love when Orc says he has a master cut of you just going like this. Like not knowing what we're talking about. So anyways, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsor, one of our sponsors.
One of many
sponsors.
Many?
Then we're going to come back. We're going to do our effing weird story. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Good.
All right. It's coming up next. We would like to thank Horn Photo, the official equipment sponsor of the Do Over podcast. Those guys have been around for almost 100 years. That's legit. They're right there in the Villaggio, and all through the month of February, they are offering 20% off photo restoration services as well as photo archiving services. It's not only cameras and stuff over there. They have frames, they have printing services, they have everything you need. It's the one-stop shop for all of your photography needs. Horn Photo, making memories last since 1937. Big shout out to Horn Photo, the official equipment sponsor of the Do Over podcast. Right there in Villaggio, all you have to do is roll up and say, hey, yo, the Do Over sent me. I need photography stuff. And they'll be like, bam, 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 bam. No, they won't shoot you. But no, they'll shoot you. See, they have all the camera gear, everything that you're looking for, 20% off of photo restoration services and archiving services. So basically, take all your old photos, they'll put them in a digital format and store them for you, as well as restore old photos of like grandma and grandpa that are all crinkled. They can remaster those. So 20% off all through the month of February. And thank you once again for helping us out. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Now, Elliot, Good Guy Gray, and Barbara S. Jess. It's time for our effing weird story. Now, Elliot.
All right, Drew, what's up?
This is for you. It's now time for They're Fucking Weird. And we would actually have our intros if Elliot didn't take too long. Elliot took too long. Too long.
That's disgusting.
Giving him this power was not a smart thing to do.
It was a great idea. Brilliant.
It was not a smart thing to do.
It was a great idea.
Good job, Orky.
100%.
It's good that Greg's here because this story is right up kind of our alley here.
Yeah, okay.
And you'll... I swear to God, some people, man.
Color me interested. Man
arrested for testing friend's bullet dodging abilities with fatal consequences.
I am on board.
This is on February 3rd, year of our Lord, 2025. A Utah man, shout out Utah.
What up, Utah?
Utah man was arrested and accused of manslaughter after allegedly shooting his friend in the chest because the latter claimed he could dodge bullets.
You know what's crazy about this before you dive into it?
Yeah.
Utah's essentially like a dry state. So these are like sober guys doing this.
That's a misunderstanding. It isn't.
No, it's like a dry state.
There's certain areas at certain times that you can't get it, or like certain regulations on how you can drink. Like you can only do it in restaurants in certain areas. Like it's weird. So a lot of bars, instead of being a bar, they'll have like a menu, but it's really a bar kind of a deal.
No, I'm just saying like it's most like it's not, but kind of is like a dry state. So these are probably just sober dobers just trying to dodge bullets.
Incorrect. 23-year-old Ashton Jonathan Mann was arrested yesterday on one count of second-degree felony manslaughter and one third-degree felony charge related to firearms for a bizarre incident involving guns and marijuana use. In the early hours of Sunday, February 2nd, first responders were called to a home in Kearns, Utah, where they found an unresponsive young man with a gunshot wound to the chest lying on the floor. The victim was quickly taken to a nearby hospital, but doctors there couldn't save his life. Man later told police that he had shot his friend after he bragged that he could dodge a bullet. So I guess the story goes that they're high. Friend's like, dude, I can dodge bullets, man. And he's like, well, let's test it out. And sitting down in the range of a firearm, he shoots his friend.
Why not just like have
End of his life.
Why not like if you're gonna really go through with this? Why not like see if your hand can dodge it?
That sounds like a murder suicide to me.
Because there's what's the word? They're f***ing idiots.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of like the story of that family. They're the two young kids. It was like a young couple, like a husband and wife, but they're in their early 20s. They're starting to blow up on YouTube. You know, they do it for the gram, do it for the YouTube kind of a thing. And their brilliant idea was stopping a Desert Eagle using phone book armor. They stacked phone books on his chest, and his whole family is there while they're going to do this, by the way, watching this kid strap phone books around his chest. Mm-hmm. The wife shoots the phone book. The 50 cal round shoots right through it and kills him.
I remember that, yeah.
And I'm like, how dumb do you have to be? So, Greg, do me a favor. You're a firearms instructor.
Correct.
Tell me what are the most important rules, like the rules you have to follow when carrying a firearm.
So I will tell you the big four right off the bat. Mm-hmm. Treat every weapon as if you're loaded.
Right.
Even after you have insured it to be unloaded.
Mm-hmm.
Never point your weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot, destroy, kill, or pay for.
Bingo.
Keep your finger off of the trigger until you are on target with the intention to shoot, and always know your target, the foreground and the background.
Meaning people behind, things behind.
Exactly.
So I treat every firearm as it's loaded, always. Even if you see it not to be loaded, it's always treated like it's loaded. You do not flag, meaning wave or turn your body with the firearm pointed at anyone. You point it in a safe direction. And even then, safe is a kind of a term that you're dealing with a dangerous tool. So safe is safe, right? Point it in a safe direction. Trigger discipline. You never put your trigger finger on the trigger when you're holstering, when you're pulling it out until you intend on finding the target and taking a shot, right? And you should always know who's in front and behind you, just like Greg said. It is so fucking crazy that some young moron was like, take a shot at me because I can dodge a bullet. Like, how fucking stupid.
So I have been shot at before. I can tell you, you can't dodge them.
My question is, my question is, did he do this before and think like, whoa, I did it. I can do this? Or was this just like, I'm watching The Matrix, like I could do that?
I don't know. I don't know how anyone could be so stupid. And this poor guy, his idiocy led him to dying, right? Mm-hmm. For anyone to think that this was a smart idea, or the other guy, I guess, could be full of shit unless they had like people there that verified the story. Like, no, he said he could dodge it, or if he was literally just trying to kill him, I don't know. But those games are, that's a stupid game, and you win a stupid prize. Like, how fucking dumb do you have to be to do? And I feel it breaks my heart because I did so much stupid shit when I was young, right? I did dumb shit when I was young, but I never would around with that shit.
No.
Like one of my buddies, I remember going over to his house and his dad had a shotgun and he unloaded all of the cartridges and it completely cleared. And he's sitting there like pulling the trigger over and over again, like laughing. I fucking left. I left. I was like, bye. I'm not doing this shit because I'm not that fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And this poor kid lost his life for being so goddamn dumb. Now, Greg, you're saying that you've been shot at before. What's the gnarliest, closest kind of, have you felt like the graze, like the air coming from around? Like, what's the gnarliest thing that you've had as far as a close call getting shot at?
So I will share a story with you that I used to talk about when I was teaching CCW. It was my second deployment. I was in Afghanistan. It's 2010. We were in southern Helmand province. It's the most southern part of Afghan, not far from the Pakistan border. And during that time, there were we were operating out in the farmlands, not too hilly.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of Taliban sympathizers, and there were a lot of locals who didn't like the Taliban. And unfortunately, if locals who helped us, they would often be targeted by them. It's sad truth. It is what it is. And so we, one morning we were taking fire from a location, maybe a couple 100 yards out. Pretty standard stuff.
Standard stuff, Elliot.
Very standard.
Very standard.
Incredibly standard.
Very standard. We're taking some rounds coming at us and we're like,
we've all
right,
been there.
It's all the Mondays. You know what I mean?
It's just a slow Monday.
Yeah.
So
I totally get it.
When you're in theater and it's a very, very active area, you have these times called TIC times, TIC, which stands for troops in contact. And normally during this period, the standard TIC times were in the morning and the evening when the sun was coming up or the sun was going down.
That's usually when the action's going on.
That's usually what's going on because it was like that twilight hour where your night vision wouldn't either help or hinder you.
Mm.
It was just that kind of weird gradient. And this is 15 years ago. They have much cooler stuff now.
Yeah. The shit they got now is crazy. But
Like what we had at the time was like, really cool stuff. But then again, and so the bad guys, they had an idea, right? They're not dumb. And so we would just take what they call harassing fire. They're just letting us know they don't like us. And it's like, we don't like you too. F yourself. Right?
Yeah.
And so we noticed that they were kind of using another compound a few hundred yards away as like a bunker kind of like spot to shoot us from. So where LT says, okay, well, I want to send a couple teams over there because oftentimes they would hold a family hostage and
my God,
and use
my Christ,
use their home as a fighting position.
Yeah.
Right. And so we go, okay. So we went over there that day. Where we were, if you patrol in broad daylight, you're going to take fire.
Right.
For sure.
It
was
matter.
just like that area specifically was.
It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
Right. And when you've been in, X amount of firefights, you start to get this weird feeling like, when it's going to happen. Like all of a sudden your brain's like, hey, dickhead, like it's about to go down.
Right.
Get that weird spidey tingly feeling.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a sixth sense.
Yeah. You're just like, something doesn't feel right. And then crack, like, oh, here we go.
God.
And so we get out there and there's nobody there. Nobody there. And the compound itself was, and this was, I'm going to describe to you just a typical farm compound where there would be like, anywhere between a 3 and like a 6 foot dirt wall around the whole thing. And it's a good size. It's like the size of, I'd say maybe like a quarter acre or so around. And in the middle, you had your living areas and it'd be either 1 or 2 buildings or just one large building. And the buildings were usually 1 story. And in that area, it was just all dirt. Like the walls, the houses were just all dirt.
Right.
The roofs were just flat on top. There's no ledge or whatever. It's just
Right.
flat, right? And so there was 2 buildings in the middle of this area, and we're looking, and there's just nobody around. Well, we had a guy with us who was monitoring radio channels who could speak the language. I forgot his name, but he was a super awesome dude. And you really want to pay attention to him because he's the one intercepting enemy channels.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're looking around, and all of a sudden he starts going off. And he's just like, hey, they're getting ready. Allah Akbar.
Yeah.
Allah Akbar means, roughly translated, like, for God or something along. Don't quote me on that. Like, internet's going to kill me on that. Don't quote me on that. But
it's like praise be God.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. It's basically like what they're going to say before they do something dumb, like attack Marines.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
it's kind of a bad move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so our platoon sergeant's out there with us, and he's very, very gung ho. This guy's just like, if they want to fight, let's go.
Right.
I'm just like, yes. Right. So he's like, okay, form up. Okay, cool. So we had one team down below and posting up on the perimeter wall, getting ready because we had a direction where they're going to come from. And then we had 2 rooftop positions. On one roof was myself and my 2 buddies, Lewis and Jake. And then on the adjacent roof, probably about 15 yards to my right flank, was my other 2 friends, David and Greg.
Now, let me understand, when you're on the roof, is there any kind of barrier of any kind, any makeshift barrier, sand, anything?
Nothing. You look out, you just see the horizon. There's nothing in front of you.
Okay.
You have no cover.
Got it.
Right. Non sequitur. There was one morning we were building fortifications for a compound we had taken over before, and the sun was coming up. We knew we were going to take fire.
Right.
And so I had my buddy Jared behind his sniper rifle, and I'm like putting sandbags around him. And as soon as the sun came up, we started taking fire.
Oh,
and they're hitting the building that I'm on.
Oh, dude.
And I'm like hiding behind the sandbags. I'm putting
You're
up,
like this,
and I'm just like, fuck. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the sand's in front of your face.
And he's engaging.
Right.
And I'm putting bags around him.
Oh my God.
So he can shoot the guys that are trying to hit me.
Right.
It was exciting, bro.
Exciting.
Oh my
I don't know
God,
if that's the word.
That is not the right word.
It was wild. But anyway, so we're posted up. I had my my M4 with my 203 grenade launcher attachment. I had 7 magazines, pretty standard loadout. And then I carried, as a 203, I carried 6 explosive grenade rounds for that and a smoke round to mark stuff. And then my buddy Jake next to me, he was on the M240 Bravo, the 7.62 belt-fed machine gun. And then my teammate Lewis, he had the semi-auto SOCOM sniper rifle. On the adjacent roof, David had a bolt-action sniper rifle. And then my teammate Greg, he had the M249 belt-fed 5.56 machine gun.
Sick.
And then everybody else was on the ground standing by. We're waiting. And all of a sudden, it starts. And I see muzzle flashes from 4 different positions in front of me,
Jesus.
Roughly between 150 and 200 yards, give or take. My memory is a little fuzzy. It was a while ago.
Well, yeah.
Now, you talk about how close they were coming in.
Right.
Before I get into that, there's a scene in Black Hawk Down where Tom Sizemore's character, Danny, he's like, they're in the town and they're getting shot at. He's like, steps out of his Humvee and he's like looking around the corner and the rounds are hitting the wall, whatever. And the guys behind him in the Humvees are just like, they're shooting at us. And the other guy says, no, they're not shooting at us. Like if it's a snapping sound, they're shooting above us. If it's a buzzing sound, they're like, and all of a sudden you hear, zzz, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're shooting at us. That is 100% accurate.
Wow. God, dude.
That is exactly what it sounds like. Like when you're taking fire, if it's kind of overhead, it's like a whip cracking.
Yeah.
Like a snap, right? If it's very, very close, it sounds like a really pissed off bumblebee.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
right? Now, here's the psychological effect, besides taking fire, which is super scary, right?
Right.
You hear it before it gets to you.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I hate that.
You hear it coming.
Yeah.
You hear the
Well, and you got to like naturally
And-
tense up and like
Yes,
flinch, right?
100%. And so by the time you recognize what's happening, it's already passed.
Right. Yeah.
So
Like
there's-
your perception level.
Mhm.
yeah. So your brain is on it, but your body just can't respond.
Right.
Right.
Ergo can't dodge bullets, Mr.
Right.
Utah guys.
Yeah. Fucking.
Mm.
And so during that engagement, I burned through 6.5 magazines, like over 200 rounds. And I shot all of my grenade rounds, whatever. I could reach out and touch, because the guys next to me, they were like almost as close
Right.
as they are. I could reach out and touch them. I heard the bees passing in between us.
Oh.
Oh my God. My God.
Now, I am not a religious man per se.
Mhm.
You know, believe what you want to believe. I'll
Mhm.
respect your wishes, whatever.
Right.
I could not find a reason how we survived that day.
Man.
Because after that fight was over, which seemed like an eternity to me, it felt like a hour on that roof.
Right.
It was ridiculous. And it's like in the summertime, 100 stupid freaking degrees.
Mhm.
We're just sweating bullets, whatever. So we ended up calling air support, which was cool. And then the Cobras came in and just mopped the floor with these guys, and it was fucking awesome. So we get off the roof, and we're looking, and the whole face of the building we were on was riddled.
Like just destroyed.
Like you could
Yeah.
see it. Now, a couple things happened during that engagement. One was really one was kind of funny. The funny thing was the rounds were coming in, and I'm just like, motherfucker. And there's this thing that I teach called barrel sight relationship when it comes to your sights and your barrel of your weapon. And this is generally more geared towards rifle because like you have the scope up here,
Right.
like the barrel's down here or whatever. And so if you're really, really close to the targets where you're zoomed in on, you're probably going to hit somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless the scope or the optic is zeroed for that distance.
Got it.
Right. And that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. Because bullets go like
Right.
this.
So I'm kind of backed off toward the middle of the roof and I'm shooting. And I'm like, God, these guys are getting close because the edge of the roof in front of me is just getting lit up. And I'm going, fuck, they're going to hit me. They're going to
Yeah.
hit me. Well, it wasn't them. It was me.
It was you shooting
I
it.
was shooting the fucking roof right in front of me. I'm just like, they're getting me.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, and my buddy Jakey's like, Greg, you're shooting the roof. And I'm like, oh, fuck, sorry, dude. And
Oh
so
my
like, I'm
God.
trying to figure it out. And like, they just, I'm like, fuck, like just trying
Hard
to figure
to
it out.
fix it when you got
Exactly.
killer
So
bees flying
when
at
you're,
you. Yeah.
you're in the middle of it and you're just like, oh, so it was really funny. But then it got not so funny because out of nowhere, I just hear this guy just yelling, like just screaming.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, that's not good. And I couldn't figure out, who it was or what it was. And I heard it again. It was off my right flank. And I look at our adjacent roof position and David, he got shot.
Mm.
He got hit. These are the things they don't tell you about,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I see him just kind of moving around and my buddy Craig was with him. He grabs him and he's like pulling him toward the edge of the roof, trying to get him down.
Yeah.
And I'm yelling for our corpsman, Danny. Corpsman is a medic who's in the Navy.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Danny, he was a SARC corpsman, SARC, which stands for Special Amphibious Reconnaissance Corpsman. And basically, it's Navy corpsmen who want to operate with the recon units
Mhm.
that we're with. They have to go through the recon course to be qualified and
Mhm.
operate with those teams. So they're like super badass dudes.
Mhm.
Right.
And so I'm yelling for a corpsman. Danny runs over there and I see him get the ladder up there and I see him just dragging David off the roof. And I thought he was dead.
Right.
Mhm.
So I was losing my fucking mind because like, that's my friend.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm-
like your brother. That's your family.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm watching this
Yeah.
in real time. I'm just like, and all of a sudden my world just turned upside down.
And you're still dealing with
We're still
Mhm.
taking
the
fire.
act of
We're still
engagement.
taking
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
And so I'm just lobbing grenade rounds at every fucking thing I see.
Right.
Mhm.
And I run out and I'm yelling at my platoon sergeant below us. And I'm just like, I'm at a 203 and he had a whole 12 round belt that he tossed up to me. And it was the coolest shit. It was like a slow motion out of this movie. Like he tosses it up and it was just like, I'm just like, fuck yeah.
Like the sun's beaming down on it.
Oh, dude, I was just foom, just as fast as I could. It was so cool. David, he survived. What happened was because we were laying down in the prone, a round had come in toward him and it hit the top of his armor plate, like the thick part, the top edge. And instead of sticking, it traversed down and it stopped just below his epidermis.
No way.
So rounds, if you ever talk to anybody who's been shot, I have not been shot. Whoever's been shot, they will tell you it's extreme heat because the round leaving the barrel, it's very, very hot.
Right.
And so he was essentially getting burned. And there was nothing he could do about it.
Got it. It was just
he couldn't get to it.
Right.
He couldn't
So
get
it was
to
like
it.
stuck.
It was stuck.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was stuck. And so they were dragging him off the roof. And so now our platoon sergeant was like, okay, they have that location dialed in. We're abandoning that spot. Like, Greg, get down. David, get down. We're done with that. Well, here was the problem. We had a bunch of guys on the ground engaging. They didn't know what the bad guys were doing because they didn't have like a bird's eye view like we did.
Yeah.
But the bad guys that were shooting, they only saw the guys on the roofs.
Got it.
Okay.
So now they only see us.
Right.
So they're focusing their fire now. So it got really, really scary. And so I'm yelling to my platoon sergeant what I'm seeing because I see him trying to flank us and try to outmaneuver us. If they did, we'd been in big time trouble.
Right.
So I'm yelling at him what's going on. And then he's directing fires on the guys on the ground of like, okay, they're over here now. And then someone called an air support and they came in and just saved the day. It was super cool.
So I think this is, something to talk about because a lot of people don't understand what it's like to be in and out. It's like you're conditioning young boys and some women to go out there and deal with not only being in active combat, but then like losing potentially friends, like friends that you loved for the past 4 years that you are out here. And I'm sure that the bonds when you are stuck in, because wartime is a life and death situation.
Yeah.
You can probably ease the pressure a little bit, feel somewhat safer, but always if you're in an active, I'm assuming that you are feeling like any day could be your last day when you're there.
Well,
it's in the back of your mind.
Well, and also you have to come to the like understanding of you might be taking a life, and that's a heavy burden in its own. It
is. Now, to be conditioned for your service and actually being deployed and then being an active combatant and then reintegrating into normal society. How was that transition for you when you did your last deployment and came back? Was it easy or was it difficult? Like, how was that when, you go through all of this, right? Because that's a heavy story and I'm sure you have more, right? But that's a heavy story to live through that and experience that has to have some kind of a lasting impact on your psyche. And then to come back, my father was in the military. He was an airman and he was a translator he learned Vietnamese. So he was the guy that could speak the language on the comms, right? During the Vietnam War. So he wasn't an active combatant. My brother, he was stationed on an aircraft carrier. He was Navy. So both of my brother and my father were not active combatants, but like you were in the shit. Like you were in the shit.
Right in there, man.
So how does it feel to go from that environment, just all of it, and then reintegrate back into normal day-to-day society? Like, how does that work?
To me, it was strange because it felt like kind of like a culture shock. And when I went home, finally, I felt like I was in a foreign place I used to live in.
Yeah.
And that was the best way I could describe it because I grew up there, but it just felt like everything was different. It's kind of like when you're at like a metal concert and it's just loud and you're just in the moment and the concert's over and then you're home and like there's nothing on TV.
Okay.
Right. And you're just like, okay.
Like you can't fall asleep,
you
but
can't, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you're just like, and like the noise is still there. right? You're just like, okay, and you're thinking about stuff. It was difficult because your life changes.
Right.
Life changes big time. And I can only speak for, the combat arms side of the effect. And I'm not taking anything away from the other MOSs because they all have their own experiences. But for me, it was just like, man, everything was just fast paced and just firefights all the time and this and this and this. And it's funny because you come back to the States and you wake up and you're thinking about, I wonder if, Starbucks is going to get my order right. And I don't wonder.
Jess.
I'm like behind a train thinking my life is over.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll never recover from this.
I know.
You've got to make sure, like, okay, I got to pay my insurance and make sure my cell phone bill is good. And then, okay, where am I going to go to lunch? And this. And you have all these boxes you have to check every single day. And believe it or not, when you're in a combat area, life is much more simpler because you only need to focus on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing is what takes you down.
Right.
And over here, it's like, it can be and I see it now, it can be very, very overwhelming because not only are you don't report to anybody anymore.
Right.
It's just you.
It's just you.
There's no formation.
Right.
There's no like, hey, we're going to be here at 5:30 a.m. in the morning to do whatever. Okay, what's next? Okay, we're doing this today. Okay, cool. That's gone. You're in charge of you now. Right. So figure it out. You're an adult, figure it out. And that takes time, especially when you're coming from that high stress, high level, high performance world.
Yeah.
It's an entire encompassing world. And like, there's a reason you see veterans wearing their veteran swag, even if they only served a few years and now they're like in their 80s and stuff. Like, that is a lasting lifetime impact, man.
Right.
Like, that is a real freaking thing. Like, I will never forget my time in the Marine Corps. I will never forget the guys I served with. Like,
right.
The good times and the bad. It was like, everything was just worth it to me. Right.
I mean, you lived a life within your own life. Like, you 100%. Lived a life in those 4 years you served. You probably lived more life than a lot of people live in 80 years.
Did you serve more than 4 years or just 4 years?
No, it was just, I wanted to serve my 4-year contract and then go back to school, which I did. So it was really cool. But yeah, coming back, I mean, I took a whole year off just to figure myself out.
Yeah.
And then a lot of Call of Duty. I got fat.
You're all getting tactical on everyone.
I got fat. I ballooned up a little bit. And then finally my parents were just like, hey, honey, you need to figure this out.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So, I started working again and started trying to integrate myself. And the whole thing to me was, how do I find a way to be productive?
Mm-hmm.
How do I find a way to be useful? Like, I don't have a team leader anymore. Like, the platoon sergeant is not here. There's no company commander. There's nothing. So like, I need to figure this out. Okay. What's everybody else doing? The one thing I found that was most helpful, talking.
Yeah.
Talking to your guys, calling your bros.
Yeah. That have
calling
been through
the
it,
bros.
or like just friends or both.
Both.
Yeah.
Primarily the guys that were with you.
Yeah.
I love my civilian buddies who've never served. There's just some things they won't understand. So there's things I don't talk about them with. And that's fine.
Sure.
It's totally cool. I get it. But it's just being active with the guys you were with and just staying in contact. I cannot tell you how many people we have lost to suicide so far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The number would stagger you. Like our corpsman Danny that pulled Dave off the roof.
Right.
He offed himself.
Oh.
So
that was devastating.
So this is one of the reasons why I wanted you to come in. So talking helps, but what is the main kind of like how you're saying like, okay, I got to get in a state of mind of how am I going to be productive, be of use, right? And apply that to your day-to-day life. Because when you were telling your story, I feel like there's also your body just to deal with the situation pumps adrenaline through your body, you know? Don't take this the wrong way, but did you did you kind of get a little addicted to that? Because it's the only way you can mentally cope with that situation is the adrenaline rush of going through it.
Yep, 100%. And I kind of scared myself a little bit because for me personally, I kind of went from a point where, I remember the very first time we got in an engagement, it was the first day they dropped us off in the
first day,
in the area of operations. So we were
Jesus Christ.
We were
day one.
Yeah, welcome to Iraq.
It was day one of we're actually working. So we had been in theater for like 2 weeks to get acclimated.
When you say in theater, what does that mean?
The area you're deployed in.
Got it.
So we were deployed to Camp Leatherneck, Helmand Province, Southern Helmand Province. It was a large base over there. And we were replacing the previous unit, 3rd Recon Battalion. I was with 1st Recon Battalion. And generally, when you show up, the unit you're replacing they're done operating. They're done.
Right.
They collect all their stuff. They're cleaning gear. They're doing, it's called a left-see, right-see. It's where you hand everything over. You talk. It's like, okay, this is what we found. This is what happened. This is what we want to do.
Right.
Cool. Go. And then you go. These guys were still operating. So it was very, very busy. It's very, very busy. And so after 2 weeks, we get inserted via helicopter and we land. And the problem was where we were going, it was like a 30-minute helicopter ride. And we were inserting everybody.
Right.
Like a lot of people. And so once you're on the ground, if something happens, like this is all the guys you got. People ain't coming for another half hour.
Right. So
like,
you know that's the time limit.
You're on your own island.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like super duper dark. Right. And then we started getting settled, figuring things out, and the sun came up. They know you're there. Right. There's this thing called sound propagation. If you're familiar, it's basically how far away you can hear things that are traveling in a certain area during a certain temperature or whatever. And so like I had to memorize this. The sound propagation of a Sage 53 Super Stallion or Sea Stallion or whatever is 10 kilometers in the open desert, which means if this particular helicopter is flying, I can hear it 10 kilometers away if I'm in the open desert.
Got it.
Okay.
And that's important information if you're being inserted somewhere and your objective is at this location. Like you don't want to be in that zone.
Kind of gives you like an estimation of where you need to get stuff done, how long you have, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Or you don't want the bad guys to hear you.
Okay.
Well, there's bad guys everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
And so as soon as the sun came up, we started taking fire. And I remember like hiding behind this little 4-foot wall.
Yeah.
And hearing the round snap over. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do I do? What do I do? Oh, training. What was I trained to do? Yes, return fire.
Right.
Right. And so there's this famous quote that I like to share. I think some Navy guy said it, which was, you will not rise to the occasion. You will sink to your level of training, which is accurate. You're not going to be suddenly Jason Bourne.
Right.
You're just not going to,
unless
that's your level of skill baseline. Right. And so I'm taking fire for the very first time in my life. And it's my second deployment and I'm an NCO and my team's like looking at me like, hey, what do we do?
Yeah.
And
what do we do?
And I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just like, okay, I remember my training. All right. Locate, close with, destroy the enemy. Okay. Find them, return fire. Cool. So that's what we started doing. And we pushed them back, which is really cool. But you go from, or at least I went from being scared to have that fear being replaced with anger. And you just started developing this like pure, unfiltered hatred.
Is this a methodology you feel like your brain came up with to deal with the situation that you were put in?
100%.
Like to not justify, maybe not the right word, but to qualify what your actions are in that state.
Yeah.
Because it does justify what you're doing, right? If you hate that person because that person's trying to kill you,
right,
and you hate them, that motivates you to continue to go, right? And it helps you process, right? After this, because the thing I love about Greg is that, and I most military people that I've met, right? Because you get a lot of loud people on the internet, right? Saying a bunch of shit, blah, blah, blah. They tend to not have served, And most military members that I've known that have been active combatants, have a couple of clients recently, you know, they were talking about all the online shit. And he's like, buddy, I may not agree with it, but I put my fucking ass on the line for other people to have it, to have that choice.
Yep.
And they take that shit seriously. It's insulting to them. And when you see like, because military members are always the one that politicians, every politician will put up and be like, veterans, yet now they're getting fucked. They don't have the services they need and don't have the healthcare that they need. Yeah. I know this firsthand, right? They're getting fucked. They're used as a tool to gain favor, but then they're the first ones to get fucked. And it's funny that you see all this propaganda bullshit over here, and military members take what they do because they legit put their fucking ass on the line for our freedom.
Yeah.
So then when that's threatened by people squabbling over dumb shit, there seems to be a level of respect that comes from military members because of the sacrifices that they have gone through personally and what the whole reason of what they were doing there was for. Does that make you proud when you come back?
So I had this conversation with my lieutenant, and a lot of guys were very, very upset about how we ended things in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Because it just felt like we gained nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know,
it was like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
10 years?
It was like a 20-year conflict.
It was 20-year conflict.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay. And so, you know, I get home and I get out, and my lieutenant actually called me up because like sometimes we'll have like going away parties for guys getting out. And he called me up because he couldn't make it to mine. And he's just like, hey, I just want to let you know, I think you did a really good job and you're an awesome Marine. And I was like, cool. And I was like, hey, sir, what was it all for?
Yeah.
You know, because we had guys get shot. We had guys lose arms and legs.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have anybody get killed, thankfully.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine got shot in the head, but his helmet saved him.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like
Jesus Christ.
the round came in to the top of his Kevlar and like circled around and I tried to exit, knocked him out cold. But he lived. He got a second chance at life, and he's doing really great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. His name's Joseph. He's really cool dude. But it's like, I just felt like there was like, we didn't get anything done. What was it all for? And he asked me, he was like, what was your job as an NCO? And without hesitation, I was just like, bring my men home.
Yeah.
He's like, did you do it? I go, yeah. He goes, there you go.
Yeah.
Greg,
Chills.
Greg, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, go for it.
Because you mentioned before we got in, or a little bit ago, that you built up a kind of hatred.
I did.
How have you been able to kind of quell that anger since returning home?
I was going to ask that. Like,
because that's such a strong emotion, and rightfully so. I mean, it's kill or be killed over there. And I couldn't imagine that kind of anger. I've never been an angry person ever, but to use it as a survival method, you know, how have you been able to kind of quell that anger since becoming a citizen again?
So, one thing that's really helped me is looking after my physical health. A lot of guys will just let themselves go, and they'll just kind of like drown out memories, right? Through, alcohol or drug use or whatever. It's not the path. I'm telling you guys right now, that is not the fucking path. Okay. I know I'm supposed to be here.
Because you're here.
Because I'm here.
Right.
But it was instilled in me after that engagement I discussed earlier. By all means, I was supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Right. But I know now I'm supposed to be here. Whatever that reason, I'm supposed to be here. And I have purpose. So finding purpose was a big, big thing. And I think it's pretty common just for dudes in general.
Yeah.
Just finding purpose.
Yeah.
And also understanding and getting involved in a stoic mentality. So I've been looking at the stoic philosophers for a long time now, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, all these guys, and just understanding how they would view life and understanding that once you realize you don't control what happens in your external stimulus, but you can choose how you respond to that. That to me is ultimate freedom. And once you realize, like, if you're mad at something, now I'm not invalidating the emotion, but you can decide if you want to exude anger.
Right.
Yeah.
That's your choice. You always have a choice. And so once you realize that you can control that, what you decide to show the rest of the world, you're in control of everything. Everything else is small potatoes.
Right.
So if I'm mad, that's a choice. I can choose not to be. And I'm not invalidating how something makes me feel.
Or like emotions.
But I don't let stuff like that control me anymore.
Right.
Right. Like you can sit there and just talk shit about the Marine Corps up and down. Like, oh, how's it feel to fucking kill babies or whatever? And I'm just like, well, number one, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And
don't know.
And number two, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way. Thank you for exercising your constitutional rights to your First Amendment.
And that's a lot of what I find fascinating with people that, now it's not everyone, but the large majority of people that have like actively served in combative situations where they're in combat kind of have that, freedom is the reason why, right? Like the way we live, what makes us us. And yeah, there's always going to be conflict and things, but I was talking about on the last pod, I'm like, if you're really going to be about freedom, you kind of have to support things that you don't believe in. You have to be okay with people that aren't you, that have different backgrounds, practicing religions that maybe you don't agree with. But that's what makes us us.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why these men and women have put their ass on the line to protect those things. And that's what really just bothers me about the bullshit that's used to control us as a society, is that, like, I have the pleasure, and I'm saying that with all respect, of not being in the military. I wouldn't have hacked it. I couldn't have made it. My father and my brother did, but I have a respect for the people that have put their life on the line for us. And thank you for sharing your story. I greatly appreciate that.
No, thank you for having me here.
Yeah. Now we're going to take a little break. Coming back with news. Okay, we got a couple other things. Finally, the high-speed fucking rail is going to get investigated. I can't wait for this fucking thing. If you know anything about me, I fucking hate the high-speed rail. And we're talking about that next.
We would like to thank Frank Sierra Finish Carpentry and Sierra Door Supply, providing and installing all your doors, custom closets, and decorative molding needs in Tulare, Kern, Kings, and Fresno County. Give a call to Anthony Sierra, your friendly neighborhood Finish carpenters, for a free quote today at 559-623-3054. Thank you so much for supporting the Do-Over podcast.
Big shout out to Frank Sierra Finish Carpentry and Sierra Door Supply. All right. Two different businesses in cahoots, though. You got
cahoots.
Frank and Anthony Sierra doing some amazing work. They are sponsors of the Do-Over podcast, doing great work in all the valleys. Okay. All the counties. You got Kern, Tulare, Madera, Fresno.
They be going everywhere?
Kings. They're going everywhere.
What about Visalia?
Oh, yeah. I think, isn't that Kern? Is it Kern? Or is that Tulare?
No idea.
I think that's Tulare.
Tulare. It's Tulare County. But they are amazing. They do incredible work. Go and check out. We'll link their website so you can go check out the work. Incredible stuff from the Sierras. So go and tell them that the Do-Over sent you if you need some carpentry needs or a door hung. Now, Elliot.
Oh, door hung?
A door hung.
Damn. That thing got a handle on it. You know what I'm saying?
How much does that cost?
It's time to do not as fake news. We would have proper intros, but Elliot took too long. You took forever. Blame Elliot. Elliot.
Who is that guy?
I still don't. I'm not convinced this is a great idea, giving him the.
I think it's the best idea we've had for the podcast yet.
I think I agree. Good job, Worky.
I need to point this out. Okay. Now, if anyone knows me, they know I can get ranty, right?
A little bit.
No.
Just a little bit.
Not at
close.
all.
I get a little ranty. But holy shit, the rants have no stops when it comes to the high-speed rail.
Well, I think they've only had one stop.
Zero stops. Zero stop. They have zero stops.
Full stop.
Listen, I have gone on tirade after tirade how this is a clear slush fund for corrupt politicians and has been for decades.
Mm-hmm.
This has been in the planning phase and going on for more than half of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was around 18, 19 when they first started talking about the high-speed rail. I remember my dad sitting me down and be like, man, you should get some training because that high-speed rail is going to create a lot of jobs and blah, blah, blah. Literally from the Simpsons themselves, the fucking monorail, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The monorail, which is just a scam. So this has been going on for about 21 years. I'm 40, more than half of my life. Finally, and I was talking to Greg about this outside. I don't give a fuck if you like Trump or not, okay? I don't like any politician. Let's just make that clear. I fucking hate all of them. But this needed to be done a long time ago. Listen, playing this so you can hear it.
The people that got all that money, are they kicking it back to the people that gave it from government? No, that's, to me, very, very corrupt. The real question is, how much of a kickback has there been? And one of the things I want to investigate rapidly, because I've never seen anything to this extent, the train that's being built between Los Angeles and San Francisco is the worst managed project I think I've ever seen, and I've seen some of the worst. Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars over budget. In fact, I read where you could take every single person that was going to go on the train and get the finest limousine service in the world and take them back and forth.
Okay, that sounds a little hyperbolic, but
I don't know. I think you might be cooking with that one.
Let's continue.
Let them cook.
With limousines, and you'd have hundreds of billions of dollars left over. It is the worst thing, and we're going to start an investigation in that because it's not possible. I built for a living, and I built on time, on budget.
The quote goes on, but what he is saying is this. It has cost Californian taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally conceived to be like a guideline from the Central Valley to Los Angeles and San Francisco, kind of like a triangle. Okay.
It's supposed to be a way for people from like the Central Valley to get jobs in the Bay Area or down south.
So you could quickly commute, right? For more affordable housing and stuff like that. It has now turned into basically like Bakersfield to Modesto.
It's essentially a skeleton.
That's about it.
Yeah.
The bureaucracy and backhanded deals and handshake deals that have been going on with the high-speed rail has literally cost us hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, to give you kind of an idea, $1 billion is kind of like literally to the human brain, almost an unquantifiable amount of money.
Yeah.
You could think, oh, it's 1,000 millions. Yeah, but you don't quite understand what $1 billion is and how far that can go.
Just, you can't even compare it to how big of a difference it is compared to $1 million.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone what we have.
$100 billion has gone into this. It's not completed. If you drive down on the 99, you see the skeleton of it just sitting there, not doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been telling everyone for so long, scrap the f***ing deal.
Yep.
Scrap it. Get all the resources you can get out of whatever they've done. What would have been smart is a series of desalination plants from the Bay Area being built in many different counties leading to the Ag Central Valley, right? So we can solve our water problem and create jobs in a bunch of different counties, right? Like have literal series of these things. We could have done it for 10% of what we spent so far, and it would have actually had an impact on our lives in a positive way. But this fucking train to nowhere has been sucking our taxpayers' dollars and doing nothing. And finally, someone's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Why did it take this long? Like, why did it take this long? Like, clearly there's like, I think of it, I remember someone talking about how any bill and anything that you have and any politician, there's a bucket, but the bucket has holes in it. So some of that money is going to leak out here and there. It's almost like something that people account for at this point. I have a friend, donated to my campaign. Well, he's going to get this big, government contract
Sure.
for $1 billion, right? It's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of a thing. They account for this stuff. But where the fuck is all the money?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is all the money, dude? And it's the dumbest idea. It is the illest ran program because like back in the day, if we needed something done like railroads, we built the fucking railroads. We just did it.
But those aren't doing too good either.
Yeah, but you get what I mean?
Just look at the Midwest, they're not doing great.
I know, but dude, listen, what the fuck, dude? It is such a waste of our money. And it was supposed to be this big thing like sold to us as this big thing that's going to bring so much money to the Central Valley. And you're going to be able to get a job in the Bay Area and go to work and come back. You'll be there in 45 minutes.
You know what high-speed train or rail they should have done, and I think they're doing it now, LA to Las Vegas or San Diego to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense.
Those make a ton of sense.
But see, that makes sense. Like that makes, why do I need to go from Bakersfield to Modesto in 45 minutes? I don't.
You don't.
No one does.
I don't know.
Just drive yourself.
I hear it's pretty beautiful in Modesto this time of year.
Greg was telling me outside, he's like, if I want to take my family, let's say it did connect to like Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to take my family to Disneyland, I'm going to have to buy 4 tickets for the rail. Then we're going to go down there. Then I won't have a car.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to get there. We're on their timeline. It's just going to cost, it would make more sense for me to just drive myself and probably would be cheaper. How much would the tickets have to be for this thing?
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm happy someone, and again, I don't care what your feelings are on Trump. Okay. My point is that finally someone's going to actually do something about this. I've been begging the powers that be to do something about this. And finally it's fucking happening, dude.
Yeah.
Or, he says it and then nothing actually happens, much like what's happened with the rail.
Well, it could be an intimidation factor to the governor to be like, get your ass in line. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, just don't look into the rail.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll make some shit happen. Just don't look into the rail, buddy.
Funniest thing about the rail is we had this report that we wrote about it years ago. This is like 15 years ago.
Right.
It got used and plagiarized by like my friends, my siblings. We all used this report for at least 8 different classes over the span of like 3-4 years. Like I used it in college twice. My brother used it in college.
Twice?
Oh, I used it at least twice. At least 2 to 3 times. My buddies used it at least twice. Like this thing was the whore of class reports. If you needed like a quick report, just like a quick extra credit report. Oh, I got
rail. I got one.
I got a 5-page paper on the high-speed rail and how ridiculous it is. You want it? Dude, that's getting me like 20 extra points in class. Like 8 to 10 people must have used this paper.
That's
amazing. God. No, that's like just erasing her friends' names off of their homework and putting her own name on it.
And not getting caught for forever.
I can't believe you did that, dude.
I'm such a bad girl.
Anyways, okay, so there. Yes, high-speed rail. Finally, for fuck's sake, someone's going to do something, hopefully. Now, you said you had something about the Hawk-Tuah girl?
Well, there's finally an update because you know how
she's
there
been
was
missing?
Yeah, where'd she go?
She's essentially been in like hiding from backlash because let's call it what it was. It was a crypto coin pump and dump.
Pump and dump.
She got some people that built this crypto coin, the Hawk-Tuah coin. Is supposed to get a bunch of people on it to be the next hot coin in crypto. And within like an hour or two, it got just totally dumped for millions of dollars.
Oh my God.
Everybody that invested in other than maybe like a few basically made all their money back in them while everybody else lost like thousands of dollars.
Well, then CoffeeZilla immediately investigated them for that.
Right.
Like immediately.
I haven't heard about this.
And so like she essentially just went MIA for months because of the backlash and everybody asking for refunds and stuff like that. And also, I'm going to say this. If you're dumb enough to jump into a Hawk-Tuah coin.
Yeah, you don't deserve your money back.
You probably aren't making the best financial decisions,
No.
Well, she finally reappeared and on new footage for a new Talk-Tuah episode, she basically breaks down and says like, I was basically used as a puppet. The people that know crypto said this is going to be the next big thing. I got sold on it and everything. It's like, one, I'm happy you're not dead.
Right.
Because a lot of people thought she got,
killed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because when you get that many people mad at you, who's to say there isn't some crazy guy.
Especially if they have money.
Yeah.
Right. But in just saying, like, she's crying and, basically saying, like, I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't, a lot of like, woe is me kind of thing. And it's like, for a girl who got famous just on a viral clip, make your money, honey. But dude, you made a lot of enemies real fast.
I'll give her this. I've never seen anyone able to squeeze out that much traction off of one viral meme.
I have never understood it.
I didn't either, but it kind of took off, right?
Yeah.
Like it kind of took off. It had like an online conversation about women and whatever Twitter bullshit would happen around it. She legit had one of the top podcasts in the world. She may still have one of the top podcasts in the world. And all because she got memed out for talking about spitting on a dick. And I'm just like, hey, she did what Ray Gunn should have done with Ray Gunn, who got clowned on at the Olympics.
Love Ray Gunn.
Yep.
This shit, she should have just capitalized the out of her meme, made that money and got out.
Yeah.
She had to be fucking stupid as fuck to not realize that she was being used as a pump and dump scheme. Like, it's clear what they were doing.
Yeah. And like the people that are running it, they built it up to where it would be this huge thing. So when people put it in and then they just sold all of it, they never really had any priority for this coin.
No.
And that's the whole point of a pump and dump, to get people to talk about it, to get people interested. And the peoples that make the coin don't actually buy the coins. They just sell the coins to make all their money back.
Well, and then if you see the CoffeeZilla investigation, they're like, well, where's the money? What happened? Where's the money? You got money.
Mm-hmm.
You sold it. So where's all the money? They're like, well, this portion went to fees because we have to pay people. This is legitimate. We're dedicated to the coin. It was like clearly a pump and dump. But I don't even know what kind of legal repercussions come from crypto because it's so like, I mean, it's not really regulated.
They say they could face charges or whatever. They never do. None of these people that run crypto coins, that do the pump and dump, nothing ever comes of it other than CoffeeZilla calling you out on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, Friedman, he got busted, but he was running like a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
He was like paying investors like a Ponzi scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he got booted. That's why he got caught. But here, I got one for you. Influencer films herself vandalizing public property, cries after getting 5 years in prison. It's from January 31st. Colombian influencer Dandy Barrera Rojas, known as A.K.A. Colombia, was sentenced to 5 years behind bars after filming herself vandalizing public property during a protest. In November of 2019, Colombia was rocked by violent protests against the government and former President Ivan Duque. It was during this time that the popular influencer, she posted a video of herself vandalizing a public transportation station in Bogota, smashing windows, card readers, and access registers with a hammer and painting the walls with spray paint. The video quickly went viral, getting her tons of attention online, but it also became the topic of an investigation that culminated in an initial prison sentence of 3.5 years for property damage and disruption of public transportation. A.K.A. Colombia later apologized for her actions, but that didn't help much, as the prosecutor's office appealed the sentence and secured a 5-year prison sentence and a fine equivalent to 493 monthly minimum wages.
Wow.
I think it's funny when these assholes do asshole shit
And film it.
And then put it out and they're like, what?
What do you mean?
What do you mean I'm going to jail? Like, I was just pretending to rob that bank.
I'm so sorry. Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No.
God.
Sorry, you got caught.
Yeah, you're. And it's not even like you got caught. You literally caught yourself. You put that shit online. It's just like that girl we were talking about last week when she was all being discriminated against and all this stuff. But she like literally filmed this engagement and you put it out on the internet where everyone's going to see it.
What was that? Was that our big story from last week?
That's our big giant story.
Oh, okay.
That big, roundabout, we came around to the conversation at the end of the day talking about,
full circle.
Perfect circle, kind of.
Perfect circle.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I'd say kind of a bumpy circle.
Yeah, maybe. Like a little lumpy.
Little lumpy.
Yeah. Do you have any more stories, Elliot?
Shapes.
Yeah.
I got one, and I'm glad it got updated because yesterday there was some speculation that Canelo was going to fight Jake Paul in May.
Yeah.
And I even tweeted about it. I was like, if there's anybody dumb enough to buy this pay-per-view, you're the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And you've always been the problem. Anybody spending money to watch Jake Paul scam people, you guys are idiots.
It's not a fight, dude.
Thankfully, Canelo, who was thinking it was going to be this major deal, skipped out of it. He said no, and he's actually signing like a 4-fight deal with the Saudi Arabia company. So he's got like 4 real boxing fights for his super fight coming up in September. So Canelo doing the boxing world some justice.
This is what I think happened. Canelo's like, yeah, I'll fight you. It's a fight, right? And he's like, Jake Paul was like, no, you can't punch me in my face.
Right.
You have to pretend like you want to punch me in my face. And he was like,
probably not.
yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is. They know everyone wants to see this guy get the shit kicked out of him. They know everyone wants to see this guy lose, right? There has to be contractual things behind closed doors that says that they can't beat him.
Yeah.
And I'm getting sick of people talking about how great of a fighter this guy is. Look, he's trained a lot. He looks like a fighter. He does not fight. Like these things are staged. It's almost like WWE.
He's such a douche.
Logan, like, they're both insufferable. But to Logan's credit, he just went full WWE.
Yeah.
And you know what? People love him as a heel, and he's actually pretty athletic for it.
Yeah.
And he was, from what I heard, great at the Royal Rumble. You know, so I mean, like, if you really want to, just be the insufferable tag team brother duo and get a bunch of your streamer buddies on it for pay-per-views with WWE. You're going to make just as much money, and maybe not as much money, but you're going to make a ton of money doing it.
Have you seen the AI girlfriend stuff, Elliot?
I have not. I mean,
he's like, no.
Is it like that?
No. I definitely have not.
Not me.
Let me log out real quick.
Yeah. He's like,
he's closing his laptop. No.
Sorry, honey. He didn't mean that.
No. I mean, I assume it's just like that movie with Joaquin Phoenix, right?
Don't listen, Charlie.
my God.
Don't listen.
Yeah. It's literally like an app. It's an app that you can create what she looks like with randomized AI and then like condition like you talk to her like she's a human being. She, he, whatever. It's like AI girlfriend. It's like a legit.
And they talk back to you?
Yeah. They like greet you and like give you little like text messages and like they'll talk to you. And I'm thinking to myself, like, at what point do you realize like you're that down bad?
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do
you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's wild.
Okay.
It's sad, I think, because
I'd say it's more of a bad thing.
Just like I said a couple episodes ago, I tried to like put myself in other people's shoes. Like, what if you're an awkward person? You can't really meet people. You're on the spectrum. You don't really communicate with people well. You're kind of awkward. You can't really find that person. Maybe this serves like an outlet for someone to feel like some kind of a connection, even though it is false. It's an AI.
Maybe to help boost your confidence.
Maybe.
I guess.
Speaking,
but
I always try to see what is the reason or positive side of something.
Well, so if you're, okay, so let's say Sarah gets AI boyfriend.
Right.
Right. And you.
I am Drewbot.
Well, and you like catch
I love
her.
to do the dishes, baby.
I will clean up the whole house for
Let
you.
me do all the mulch.
If you catch her like texting this AI boyfriend and she like develops feelings for AI boyfriend, is that cheating?
That's disgusting.
Elliot.
She's developed feelings for it.
Artificial intelligence. Like I would be like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I think it would be more awkward. I honest to God think it would be more weird if she developed, how do I put this? Okay, here's my crack response.
Okay.
It would be less hurtful if it's an AI,
Yeah.
but also more because I'm like,
You're picking that over
no.
me.
I'm like, no. I'm thinking like you're losing your mind.
Right, you're worried about her.
So now I'm worried about her mental state.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be as hurtful as if it was with another man.
But would you think it was cheating?
I don't know. I think
Got to read the receipts.
I think my whole well, and I'm also No, I'm not gonna say it. So it's just one of those things is like,
if she's like messaging it and is like, I love you, baby. Like you're so
I love you too.
like I am picturing
Let me see them milkers.
Right.
Let me
Like,
see those big old boobs,
literally,
please.
like
What are you doing? Lies.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Drewbot hits her up at 2:30 a.m. I know you're up. LOL.
I know you're working. Let me see your titties.
yeah.
I don't know.
If she's like, I want to suck that robot wee wee.
Yeah.
Like, are you into that? Like, is that cheating?
Downloading boner.
I honestly
That'd be
think
uploading.
Yeah. Upload complete.
Streaming available.
Oh my God.
I honest to God think that I would be more worried about her mental state.
Yeah.
Like that would be my biggest concern.
Mhm.
Like if it's with another person, like, yeah, I'd be hurt and mad.
Yeah.
Right. And like a little bit crushed. You know, that's my
Mhm.
wife. Like I get that. I would be more concerned with like, oh, she's losing her fucking mind because she's falling in love with
A robot.
a robot. Like
Mhm.
something that's not real. It's not real.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're
Do you
mind
stay
fucking
with
yourself.
her? Do you-
Again, like you're asking questions like I would want to try,
Right.
but
Would
if
you-
she's that far gone,
Would you,
know?
in response, get an AI Sarah? Sarah bot.
play video games, Drew. All that you want.
Well, and then look what happens. Drewbot and Sarahbot become a thing.
Oh
and
my
then they
God.
dump you.
Then they cheat
dump
on
you.
us
Yeah.
with each other.
So now you two are just stuck with each other.
And they're both way happier than me and Sarah because one gets to play video games all the time and is also doing all the cleaning. And like they're like, yeah, this is the greatest marriage in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I would just be more upset that I feel like she would be losing her mind. I'll be like, nah, you got to get mental health.
Mhm.
Follow-up question. Let's say in 10, 15 years from now, we get it to where we get like a virtual metaverse, right? Kind of like a player one, kind of what we talked about the other week. Would you want to then meet that AI bot?
Mhm.
Because,
Like in the metaverse?
Mhm.
because like you could be doing naughty things in a metaverse
Mhm.
with somebody you created.
See, that's a better question.
Okay. Yeah.
If I'm in like, let's say a full bodysuit that gives you full, you feel like you're stepping into like an actual world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are hooking up with an artificial intelligence, but it's basically like in your reality here.
Yeah.
It's like a human. That's cheating.
That's cheating.
That's cheating.
That's where the line is drawn.
Yes, because like it's like you are actually doing this, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you're like jerking off or something or using like even a toy like a pocket pussy.
Yeah.
Well, no, the phone's
Like-
got a vibrate button. I mean, that's enough.
If you are like having like dinner,
Speeds.
Just gonna let the phone ring.
Let's go let that bad boy fly.
I don't know. I think that these are going to be like,
Backup power sources and everything.
How do you know
Got generators
Yeah.
and stuff.
that it does that? Like
Yeah.
the
What, a phone ringing?
Yeah.
No,
I know what a phone sounds
No,
like.
you did the
I did
a
a
couple sounds of what vibrators do. He did the and then he did the
It's like I did a phone call,
You
but
could
all
literally
right.
make up any noise and call it a vibrator.
Yeah, it
because there's
pretty
like
much works.
14,000 speeds in those things.
yeah, I'm like,
Damn, it's got a
Yeah,
V6
exactly.
engine in there.
Oh yeah,
I think this
turbocharged.
is going to be a question
Uh-huh.
that's going to be more relevant in like 5 to 10 years.
I'm really
Well, I mean,
curious
Think about some of the weird stories we've seen over the years.
Yeah.
Like we've had the model marry themselves, or like a cutout, or like a
Right.
puppet made
or
of
like
socks
the
and
My
will.
Strange Addiction guys that like the guys that like one guy was dating his car and was like having sex with it.
Okay, that's crazy.
So
Damn, he must have
That's
had
crazy.
he must have had a crazy time seeing Cars in
his
theater.
car's name was
yeah, he's
Chase.
just like, oh,
Dude, what's that? What's the Porsche's name? Sally?
yeah.
Scully.
Dude must have had dreams.
No, he was gay for his car. The car
Wait,
was
it's
a
a-
man.
Oh, the car was a man.
The car is man. He was Chase.
Oh,
At that point, I think that,
Old
okay,
man.
hold on. Okay, so here's the real deal.
What was the car?
That
Do you know?
is someone
read something.
that is someone that has a sexual, like, they're repressing their homosexuality. So instead of being like gay, because if he hooks up with a guy, it's gay,
Mhm.
he's fucking his car who's
But-
a man that's not gay.
Couldn't
But he
imagine.
tragically
That's a
lost.
car.
He tragically lost Chase and then got another car who's a girl. So
Oh.
he's by
God.
Carshual.
I couldn't imagine.
And they were both,
he went from manual to automatic. It's very different.
and they were both Teslas.
Yeah, they're both Teslas. There's not,
Yeah.
Man, do you think he makes like a date day out of like getting an oil change?
Like getting inside. He's all in the car. He's like, I'm inside of you right
Well,
now.
there was literally
Or like a car wash, like you
guys need to watch this episode because he's literally like he'll crawl under it and he'll be like, "Hey, baby," and like,
yeah, no, that's fucking weird.
That's
see,
mental.
I don't like watching. It seems exploitative to me. It's either that they're full of shit and they're trying to get on TV.
Yeah.
And they're just doing stupid shit, or they're literally fucked up and like this show is legit for everyone to be like, oh, look at this guy, right?
Yeah.
When we should be like, he needs help.
Well,
you
and
know
then
what I
there
mean?
was the woman that married the Eiffel Tower, and they showed a clip of her. It was either that one or the girl that married the roller coaster. There was one of them.
There's
And-
no way the country of France would be like, you may marry the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, how are we supposed to compete with
I
that? By
don't
the way?
know.
I know, yeah, it's so
And-
big.
We can't compete with this.
Right?
It's so big.
But there's a clip of her straddling part of it, like the iron.
Like,
and and she goes, and I'm like, we're interrupting something. Like, this is on TV.
But madame, you cannot straddle.
people, dude.
It was either that or there was a woman that married a roller coaster and was straddling
What
it.
do you think's the sluttier landmark? The Eiffel Tower or the Leaning Tower of Pisa?
The Eiffel Tower's
Washington Monument.
Yeah.
By far.
That's a good one.
By far
That's a
is
good
the
one.
horniest.
100%.
I
Or
would
what about the
say,
Statue of Liberty?
I mean, she's kind of fine.
She's kind of bad.
And those came from France, right?
Yeah.
She's kind of baddie.
Yeah,
you
she
know?
kind of
Mhm.
she's kind of bad.
So there's our news stories.
If you could call it that.
Yeah, if we went into talking about sex and AI and cars. So there you go. That's
Well,
what you get with the.
life is a highway.
That's what you get with the the do over.
Can I ask?
Rascal Flats, baby.
I need to ask you the same question I've asked Elliot now. Sarah wakes up tomorrow morning with a penis. Do you stay with her? It grew overnight.
This is such an unfair question.
It grew. She couldn't help it. She's still herself to her core.
I'm going to ask you the same
Although
question.
she talks
Hold on.
like this now.
I'm going to. No. Everything is the same, right?
Sup, baby?
Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you the same questions
Okay.
Elliot asked you.
Okay.
Does she still have a vagina?
No.
Sounds like butt stuff.
Why
to
would
me,
she-
Drew.
I know, right? We're going to have to jump in that back door.
Well, I mean, like,
saying.
why would
Yeah.
if she had both, why would she need you?
True.
Yeah,
She could just.
I'm not needed
yeah.
anymore.
Well, it depends on
Yeah.
where they are. I think.
She just looked like
the orientation matters.
just looked like a door
it's like-
handle.
Like, is the dick on her
Door
arm?
Yeah.
hand- a door
Yeah,
handle
It's very
is
scientific.
crazy.
I'm not going to get into it right now.
When you marry someone, you should love them for more
No
than just
matter
their
what. Mhm.
parts.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my wife so much. I'd be like, can we cut it off? You know?
What if she didn't want to? What if she kind of liked it?
What if it's bigger than yours?
Right.
What if it's just
Yeah.
massive?
It's
Yes.
just this massive
See,
donger.
this is what Silks asked me.
Yeah,
He
it's
was
like, how
all,
big is
he's
it?
all, how big is your peen? And I
Right.
said,
On a scale of 1 to girth.
and I said, well,
One a beer can.
I said it's big, but also, I can wear pants. Like, you don't have to see it. And I said, but
it's
like,
kind of hard to miss.
but I said, like, you can feel me obviously like get a boner. Like, you can feel it.
See, I don't know, man.
And so like
So how many pairs of gray sweatpants would you own?
all of them.
Honestly?
Oh, I would be doing like the spinny thing. I would be.
You spin me right round, baby,
I'd
right
be
round.
insufferable if I woke
My-
up with a dick.
my wife would make me feel all of her pain.
Greg over
by
there hearing
walking up-
helicopter
No.
noises again.
My wife would make me feel
Somebody play Fortunate Son.
all of her pain that I have inflicted upon her
Yeah.
by walking behind me and going,
Mhm.
or like smacking my ass,
Oh,
or like
yeah.
getting a boner and like being like, hey, you want some? And like
Yeah.
shoving it on her leg. And
Yeah.
like,
God.
she'd be
How-
like, bitch,
Right.
how do you like it? I'd be like, I don't like
No,
it.
I
Get the boner off me. I
think the
don't like it at all.
I think the scariest thing would be like them whispering in their ear from behind you, like
Yeah.
them sneaking up.
Uh-huh.
Hey, how you doing? Ah!
Yeah. Yeah.
She'd be like, you're the girl tonight. I'd be like, no,
I
no, again? No,
Yeah.
I'm not Elliot. No. Anyways.
You didn't answer my question.
Okay.
He's like, hey, I'm not. This Drew would be like, I'm not against.
Divert.
I'm not against that capital D.
Right.
Divorce.
I love my wife so much, I would stay with her.
Period.
But I would try to avoid that dick as much as possible because I don't want any part of it.
But how would you have
Do you think there would be more
We figure something out.
Do you think there'd be more like date nights because she's got a lot of tea now?
Yeah.
Should have a lot
She
more
wants to take
tea.
me out. She's like, no, I hold your hand like this. You don't hold my hand like this.
Give
I'm
the
like,
bill to me.
I got it.
Like, look, I'm completely supportive of the LGBTQ plus community,
totally.
all of them, right? But I think that this is where a lot of men, young men, get fucked up. Okay, and let me say this, meaning 100% understand what I'm saying here to be the absolute truth. We kind of touched on it not too long ago. Okay, even though I support them, a good friend of mine is transgender. We have gay friends. I support their whole freedom to live their life the way they want.
Yeah.
I still don't want to see men make out. Like, I don't want to see men in TV shows. It's just not my thing. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It's not what I'm into. But I don't look at it like, oh, how dare they fuck this, blah, blah, and go on Twitter and bitch about it.
Does it give you a feeling kind of like this?
No.
You want a hot dog real bad.
Yeah, no. But I think that
Thank you.
I think what the problem with young men right now is that they are not balanced enough to realize that you can support people wanting to live the way that they want to live, but you don't need to that doesn't make you gay.
You don't need to be like, ooh, yeah.
I think that's where people get fucked up. It's like, just because you're like, I don't give a fuck if you're gay, does not also make you gay.
Well, see, like,
you know?
I
don't know.
Like, I don't want to see straight people making out. I want to see women.
Yeah. And I also would like to see women making out.
I concur.
Yeah. I think all of us would like to see women making out.
Straight
There's not a
people
problem with
making
that.
out is disgusting. It's
My point is that you can
Rude.
you can stay out of people's lives and let them be them.
yeah.
But that doesn't also mean that you want to jump in the sheets with a dude. Okay.
Right.
Like, you know, I've talked about this several times. I don't
Drew,
understand why people can't have that level of
But Drew,
separation.
think how much more fun you and your wife would have just going to the restroom.
Yeah, no.
Together.
Okay.
Oh my God.
This
I
is
would
an
love
awkward
that.
Crossing the stream.
I would love that.
So here's a question for you.
Okay.
Here's a question. You and your wife go to the same restroom.
Okay.
Do you apply the separate urinal rule or do you not?
No, I mean,
What's
you
that?
guys are
I need to
married.
know what
I mean,
that
we're
rule
married,
is.
so I
Yeah,
figured
yeah.
that.
What's the rule? I don't know it.
There's got to be a one urinal gap.
And no other man walking into the restroom
Oh.
ever adheres to this rule. If there's a line of 8 and you're taking a piss, the dude's going to come right next to you and
Right.
take a piss.
But like,
Every fucking guy, no one fucking. If I'm walking, I'm doing the level of separation.
There's a urinal
No
buffer.
motherfucker ever
There
does
should
it.
be a urinal buffer.
A one urinal
but
buffer,
what
yeah.
happens when it's like a trough?
I think that
Then we-
guy.
Then here's what you do. All right.
The trough was like a big thing back in like the 80s. I haven't
do
seen
you
a
do it
trough around.
facing each other?
No.
No. You're
Jess,
staring at a
What?
wall.
No,
No.
Jess, here's what you do. You guys line up about arms width apart, and then you hold hands so you're not nervous, and you go together.
How you doing?
Yeah.
How's your day?
It's like this. You don't look at each other.
What do you like in the playoffs?
You don't look at each other.
Balls.
You know, you can talk if you want, but you do this. Here, Greg, I need you.
Okay.
Hand.
Hold
And-
hands.
They're
and you
holding
go.
hands.
And you just go pee pee.
And you go.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
But you
"Aw."
don't look at each other.
You don't look.
You just hold hands.
But when you're scared,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
you hold hands.
When
You know?
you're scared?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. We're
Why
good.
are you
It's an
scared?
We're moving
intimidating
on.
thing.
We're moving on. We're moving on. Okay. There's other things I got to get to.
Is there?
There is. Like Save Mar guy.
Oh yeah, we do got to talk Save Mar guy.
Let's talk Save Mar guy.
Dude's the man.
He is the man. I wonder
so-
if it's the same guy.
It's got to be the same guy because yesterday Drew and I we were out in the elements. You know, we were out in the natures of things. You know,
Yeah, we did some kind of crazy footage shooting yesterday.
Yeah. So-
Hello?
you would have hated it.
You first of all, you would have hated it. Second of all, I asked and you were not available. I asked you, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be pretty cool.
As
though.
the star of the show?
All right, I'm talking. Anyway, we get done, but I got to go to the store. So I go to Save Mart, which I need to stop doing.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
There's
It's so
nothing
expensive.
Even the things on sale aren't on sale.
No.
You don't save anything.
No,
No.
you really don't.
No.
But as I'm going there, this brawly guy, big dude, great beard, and he's like, "Hey, proud of you. Love what you're doing. I listen every week. Okay, bye."
Oh my God.
And he just kept going. Didn't give me his name or anything. And I
Yeah.
was just like, that's got to be Save Mart guy.
Does he work there?
No.
Okay.
He's just shopping there.
Okay.
I got to say, Martin, story. Similar. I don't know if it's the same guy or not.
Gotta be.
But I'm walking through with Taylor, and Taylor's like, I want the little cart. I want to do it. I'm like, Taylor, honey, we're just going in and out. And a father and his daughter, as you know, I'm getting the fucking little cart. There's no, honey, we don't have time. There's no, I'm going to go get the little fucking cart and we're going to do this. So I'm going to go get the little cart. As I'm walking down the aisle, dude comes up and he's like, I love the podcast. And I was like, oh, this is the first. This is the first time I've had like just a random person tell me that they love the podcast. I was like, thank you. Oh my God. You know, and I just kept on walking.
Mode.
I know, you turn into me.
Oh my God. Thank you.
It's very zesty at Save Mart.
What do you mean by that?
But what do you mean by that?
Oh my God.
But I wonder if it is the same guy. Okay, can I also get something off my chest here?
Yeah.
This is another Save Mart story. Motherfuckers, dude. So one of the only cheap things that they have at Save Mart is fried chicken. Okay.
Yeah, the little deli spot.
Oh,
yeah.
and those rotisserie guys for like $5.
Yes. Yeah. Oh no, they're $8 now.
Oh, they're $8 now?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. That's not bad.
This country.
I'll
Still
freaking
okay.
murder those
Yeah.
things. They're so good.
Those are great. So the fried chicken, you can get an 8-piece dark meat for like $9, right? My daughter, who's notoriously picky, both of them, like fried chicken now. So I'm like, this is a good cheap thing that they can eat for a couple of days. So I go to the deli counter, and this has happened at least 4 times because I figured out they liked fried chicken like 3 weeks ago. Okay. Every time I go there, the dude that's working there goes, oh yeah. You want some chicken? And I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, all right. And in the front are these big, beautiful, recently fried up thighs and legs, like juicy big pieces of chicken. And then kind of in the back, they had like the measly like half with like the breading falling off. This motherfucker always picks the measliest pieces of chicken.
It's the same guy.
The same fucking guy every time. And he's like lazy about it. So I'm like, all right, this next time I'm saying something. Okay. And I'm sitting there and I'm counting.
Yeah. Drew rolling up like,
What up, G?
So I'm counting it this time. I'm like, I'm going to make sure he gives me the right ratios, gives me the good pieces of chicken. So he opens up the thing, he's putting it in there. I'm like, whoa. Hey, what's the ratio we're looking at? And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, the ratio of legs to thighs. What do they look like? He's like 4 and 4. I'm like, yeah, 4 and 4. The fuck? And he's like picking the measly chicken again. I'm like, no. I want these pieces right here. And he's like, oh no, I can't give you those. I'm like, why the fuck can't you give me those?
Those are display chickens, right?
I'm like,
they're fake.
I'm like, why can't you give me those? He's like, well, we know we do them in order from when they're done. The new ones come up here, you know, so that every level dentist. I'm like, I don't care. I want those legs right there. He did not give me those legs, but instead of getting in a fight, I just kind of laughed it off. I was like, but I'm going to school this motherfucker next time. I'm gonna throw him for a loop.
I think you should get your hair ready in its most Karen form.
Yes,
because that's what it sounds like you're doing.
I'm gonna roll up and be like, I want 8 thighs.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want any drumsticks.
Drew's
I want thighs. Oh, you can't give me those? Why?
Drew's
Why
like,
not?
Why not? Why
Drew's
can't
like,
you give me those?
Yeah.
Listen, I want 8 thighs. You got to be buddies with these people because that's when they take care of you.
I am. We had to
doesn't
talk
sound like
about
you're buddies with
the
this guy.
first time we had to talk about Naruto. I think you know what it is. I think he got pissed.
Maybe he's a Bleach
Because-
fan.
I was wearing a Naruto sweater. He's like, yeah, man, I'm a One Piece guy. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, are you going to watch the One Piece on Netflix? He's like, the live action. I'm like, no. They're doing like new animation and abridged version of One Piece to, you know, all the
Which
arcs.
studio, baby?
But he didn't know about it. So I'm like, oh, you don't know about it? Just look it up. And I feel like since I knew and he didn't, he saw that my nerd superiority was up
above.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Was
And
above.
because of that, he gives me the shitty chicken.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
I don't
That
want the
has-
shitty chicken.
that
I want
has
the
to be
good
why.
chicken.
maybe it's
Yeah.
because he knows you don't like One Piece. You're one of those people.
No, I never said I didn't like One Piece.
You kind of did.
Also, can I also point something else out?
I don't know.
Because it seems like my day-to-day is wrapped around going to stores and errands and work. My work schedule has been absolutely insane. If you wear a red t-shirt to Target, especially a red polo, you're the dick, not me.
No, I've mistaken people a few times. Yeah.
You're the asshole.
For employees and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So
like, why would you do that?
I asked someone where the dog food was yesterday, and they looked at me like I was a piece of shit.
Yep.
And I was like, you're the piece of shit.
Yeah.
Be aware.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Thank you, Elliot.
You're welcome. That's why I do it.
He definitely stinks.
Yeah.
And it was a woman.
She stinks.
Because I rolled up, she was wearing literally like beige pants and a red shirt
She
with
did
a
that
belt.
on purpose.
I was like, bitch, you look like the manager.
But you know how we were going to do like some bet where whoever lost had to do that?
Wear
in
a blue shirt and go to Best Buy?
Was it Best Buy?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe it was.
She was mean.
Well,
like,
also-
I asked her and she's like, and I was like,
Well, and also,
are you not aware of what you look like?
and is it not like fair to just ask anyway? Even if like, hey man, I'm new. Do you know where it is? Like, that's a fair question for anybody.
I'm
You
new.
clearly know
You
where
clearly
everything
know.
is.
Yeah,
you
you
clearly
clearly
know where everything is.
That happened to me at Best Buy.
Did
I was
it?
actually wearing a blue polo and tan Dockers.
See,
I
you
didn't
did
even
it to
realize-
Part of
yourself.
the Geek Squad,
And,
bro.
you know, it
So,
didn't
yeah.
help that I had a
So-
name tag from my other job on.
It was
you
yellow.
know.
And then somebody came by. He's like, "Hey, can you tell me where?" I'm just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't work here." Right? That was really cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, "Why are you wearing that?" And I'm like,
It's my manner of dress.
"It just looked good to me this morning." Like,
Who the fuck is that guy?
I'm just like, "I'm sorry." Like,
Yeah, like what? Don't be a dick.
know?
You know what I would have done? I would have been like, well, let's find it together.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's
your
go ahead and
your
find
guess
it.
is just
Together.
as
I'll
mine.
just hold his
Yeah,
hand and
hold
just,
hands.
just walk straight to the bathroom.
And just take a leak. All right. So we're going to take one more quick break. We'll come back. We're going to finish up the pod. Episode 6 of the Do Over podcast. Just about done. We would like to thank Horn Photo, the official equipment sponsor of the Do Over podcast. Those guys have been around for almost 100 years. That's legit. They're right there in the Villaggio, and all through the month of February, they are offering 20% off photo restoration services as well as photo archiving services. It's not only cameras and stuff over there. They have frames, they have printing services, they have everything you need. It's the one-stop shop for all of your photography needs. Horn Photo, making memories last since 1937. Once again, big shout out to Horn Photo, the official equipment sponsor of the Do Over podcast. You're the best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. What?
Can't let people see my eyes.
Oh, yeah. You must shield yourself.
eyes.
I must say, I love Horn Photo. I have loved them for years. People in there are great. They're not gatekeeping. I was talking about this the other day. When I went into Horn Photo with like questions about photography, they didn't like laugh at me. They helped me because they run a camera store, a photography store.
How funny would the story be if they were just laughing at you?
Well, I got a story about that. So I'm not going to give specific names, but you know that we have a good relationship with Dragon's Horde.
True
right?
that.
Dungeons and Do-Overs March 1st, baby.
That's right.
Yay.
Can't wait. DM Mike, he's in.
Sloppy Joe
Sloppy
making his
Joe.
grand appearance.
All right. And we're going to work on a new character for you. We're going to have fun. There's another game store. There's another game store.
How do you spell that?
I'm not going to do that. Okay. There is another game store I'm not going to name. I went in twice. This is way before Dragon's Horde ever came around. I walked in and, you know, like my new obsession with painting miniatures or wanting to know Warhammer lore. I get these things where I'm like, oh, you know, go see about that. I think at the time I was like, you know, I haven't played Magic the Gathering in a long time since I was a kid, and I loved it when I was a kid, and there's a big scene. Maybe go and ask them about cards and like what I could do to like play, right? I walk in and I start asking them questions, and they're like, you don't know anything. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's like why I'm asking you questions.
Typically
Like,
why I ask questions. Yeah.
they're like, I don't know if this is going to be for you. And I was like,
How do you learn if you don't ask?
So
yeah.
I left. That was the first engagement. Second time I go in, I think it was asking about Gundam or something. It was something along those lines. And they acted like I was such a dumb piece of shit and I should not be there asking any questions at all. And I was like, actively thought to myself, I am not ever going to give these people a single dollar of my money. Ever. Like, they're assholes, right? If you are a small business owner and someone's asking you questions, it is in your interest to help them. because they want to give you money.
Mhm.
Like the term gatekeeping, I don't like it because I think it's overused on the internet a lot. The term gatekeeping,
Sure.
it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But it is kind of gatekeepy. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't know? Well, then you can't be part of our squad.
Well, and
Yeah.
I get it, wanting to protect something you hold dear to your heart.
Yeah.
But also, like, things are better when more people know about it. Like, things will only get better for your stuff if other people invest in it.
and are participating.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you expect to grow your community and maintain funds coming in?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be like that, you're not only are you shutting down your own business, but you're giving a bad name to the community.
Well, and
Right.
if you like, let's say, a magic and somebody's asking about it, if they don't end up buying and supporting magic goes away, and then your thing that you love goes away.
Goes away.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's a no-brainer. But there's a lot of elitists in these sub-communities over here that they want to be the ultimate knowledge master.
they want to be withered.
Yeah, and they want you to earn it, kind of a deal. And I'm okay with like doing your own research and earning your spot in some kind of a community. That's fine. But at the same time, like, help the people that want help.
Mhm.
So this is all to say that the people at Horn Photo did not laugh me out of that store. And I have a mass love of photography and cameras, and they have the best staff. And a lot of people don't understand how important having that kind of a resource to us local is. So go and support Horn Photo. Tell them that the do-over sent you. Now, before we get to TV on the internet, you brought a fast food hack.
Yeah.
Stack that boy.
Stack that boy. And you know what? Stack that boy came through again. I sent you guys a photo in the chat.
The burrito the size of his arm.
Yeah.
Thing was massive. And it's because when you let them have fun, they take care of you. That's what it's all about. It's taking care of them so they can take care of you. Stack that boy is an absolute hit.
I have a fast food hack. It's kind of fast food, but it's a fast food hack for you all.
Mhm.
What's the best? Yes, you trust me. This is a good one.
Yeah.
What is the best deal on pizza?
Little Caesars? I mean, $5 pizza.
The
is-
$5 hot and ready.
$10 large pizzas from Costco.
Mm.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Hold on,
that's true.
hear me out. This is what you do.
And the $1.50 hot dogs.
$1.50 hot dogs
yes.
too. You get 2 large pizzas, $20.
They're good too.
I disagree.
Hold on. You take them home, put them in the fridge. Don't touch them for a day. Then when you're going to eat, take them out per slice, put it in the air fryer, 400 degrees for 6 seconds. That it is incredible. It tastes like some of the best homemade pizza you can have, and the crust has a crunch to it. You know, when you get it, it's kind of like floppy. It's not like crisp on the bottom. When you do that, it crisps the crusts. It's so much better if you do it that way. Trust me, you'd like it.
I don't think I would.
I think you would.
Costco
She doesn't
pizza,
like anything.
Costco
Yeah, she don't like
pizza
anything.
tastes like, remember the pizza that they'd give you like in elementary school?
Yeah, the pizza everyone loves.
Well, and also,
Everyone
Let me
loves
guess,
that.
you liked the bagged milk too?
yeah.
I'm a milk boy.
That stuff,
Oh my
the bagged
gosh.
chalky milk was sick. And then what a lot of people do would bite the corners and then spray people with it. Have a milk war.
So I'm telling you, try it. Try
Okay.
it. Now, with that, we're going to have to finish up. We need to get to TV on the internet. Elliot?
Yush.
Okay, so what we got? You said you saw Dog Man.
I did see Dog Man. It was
Where's your blog?
blogs up at rantsnetwork.com. Everybody knows that.
Okay.
Everybody knows that. And it was way better than it had any business being. You know, I went into it and I accidentally bought I think it's Screen X. So the screen isn't just that screen. It's also on the side.
Oh, really?
So it surrounds you.
What?
It's kind of crazy.
That's
So like you're watching the main scene and then like
Why
the
is it always
background
it's always Elliot.
and then like the background and stuff happening in the background is like on your side. So you're like, oh damn.
He's all, I need to see Dog Man.
Dog
with
Man.
Screen X.
screen on screen on
I
screen.
need it all around me.
Well, it was like the only time that worked, and I had just gotten off work. I went to PF Chang's, got a couple of brewskis, had a couple of dumplings. It was a great time. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, all right, this is going to be a dumb, super kiddie movie. You know, Captain Underpants. We all bought the books at the book fair when we were in
Right.
elementary
Mhm.
school. You know, like it's nostalgic for me in a sense because I use those for my reading log books. You know.
Mhm.
But as I'm watching it, and then like you're hearing Petey the cat, and this sounds so stupid explaining, but it's like emotionally maturing. And
Really?
it's like, you learn that you're not your situation essentially. And like, you aren't who your parents raised you to be. Like, and it was very just like, wow, Pete Davidson. It's like watching him mature is helping me mature. And then out of nowhere, Ricky Gervais is in it. And you're just like, damn, what's going on with this movie?
Elliot's like, I cried. I came to terms with my childhood and being a middle child. I matured through watching Dog Man. Thank you, Pete Davidson.
Who I was as a child.
That is not me.
I broke generational curses.
Jesus, I've seen what you've done for other people, and I want that for me too.
Yeah, Petey might.
Greg's like, yeah, you're so gay. 2 tickets to Dog Man, please.
God,
You're so gay, Elliot. Oh, I can't wait to emotionally mature.
Dogman isn't a top 10 DreamWorks movie, but it's probably top 15. It's fun. Your kids will like it. Your kids.
Okay, we're gonna go see Dog Man.
DreamWorks has Shrek.
I know. I didn't say number 1. I didn't even say top 10. I said top 15. That's pretty fair.
I just think Shrek's 1, 2, and 3 take up
all of the slots.
It.
All of the slots.
I think. Hang on. I think Kung Fu Panda 1. I think Shrek 2 and 1, and then I think How to Train Your Dragon 1.
Oh yeah,
are like the top 5.
And 100%. I'm pumped
and I even
on How
heard,
to Train Your Dragon.
And even Puss in Boots: Last Wish. I heard was a bang.
That is getting it. I get so close to watching that movie over and over and over again because it got stupid reviews about how good it was. So now, Greg, what you been watching on TV?
Unfortunately, I don't watch a whole lot.
Okay.
It's like I have been playing a lot of Beat Saber though.
Okay. So explain
my jam.
Explain what Beat Saber is and what do you have? Oculus
So it's like it's like one of those MetaQuest deals, like a VR headset, and they have really come a long way.
Yeah.
Ever since they first hit the market, these things are incredible. So we're going through looking at games, and like Beat Saber is basically you have these 2 lightsaber looking things.
Right.
And this like animated block comes at you with an arrow pointed direction, and then you hit it with that designated color, that direction.
Yeah.
It gets hectic as all hell.
Yeah.
And you feel like a badass once you get it down.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's like really fucking cool. Now to the observer, you just see some guy doing this.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you do your own?
I do.
Do you do your own sound effects like yeah?
Oh yeah. All up there, just like yeah, get it. Yeah.
Well, now it sounds like something else.
I know.
But
Get
I'm all wait. Can you say that again? Speak into this, please.
I don't know who the saber chick is.
Yeah. Take it.
I'm all. Can you say "good girl" as you're doing it?
Oh yeah.
Can
Jess,
you call that box a whore?
Jess, you're being such a good girl for me.
Yeah.
Daddy like,
yeah. We hate Costco pizza. Oh yeah, get that. Yeah.
Oh, I'll show you.
That Costco pizza.
Oh, I'll show you combination.
Yeah.
So Beat Saber it is, huh?
Yeah, it's super cool, and they have a bunch of like music packs and things, and it's funny because I'm a metal dude,
Right.
I like metal.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all genres, but metal is like my key in. When you look at the music packs on Beat Saber, they have like, The Weeknd, Panic at the Disco, Lady Gaga, and it's just like, oh God, really? And then you play these songs and you're just like, oh my God, I love this song.
Bad,
oh yeah. No.
Gaga.
You get into it.
Oh,
bro.
yeah. I love that. It's almost like expanding your horizons. It's forcing you to expand your horizons.
It really is. So newsflash, one of my favorite songs is what was it? Is from The Greatest Showman.
With Hugh?
With Hugh. Wolverine.
Hugh and Zach. And they have that song like, "This is the greatest show."
Right.
Right. That song is fire on Beat Saber.
Yeah.
It is.
I love it.
So much fun.
I love it. You know
Zach,
what I
give
love?
me strength.
So much fun. Yeah.
When it comes to being a man, Greg is the man. He's tactical behind a firearm. He has military experience. He's a sculpture of a human being. And he is man enough to rock out to Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So
I will
you.
I will rage Gaga
And The Greatest
all
Showman.
freaking day.
All fucking day.
Just wait until the
Dude,
Wicked
on Beat
DLC
Saber,
drops. It's
I'm
going to go
telling
crazy.
So actually, I So for Christmas, I bought Caitlin and her friend tickets to go see Wicked down in LA. They just came back. That was apparently a really good show at the Pangean Theater, whatever it's called. But no, like if you have the means and you can pick one of these, really cool. There's other cool games too. Like you can play as Batman, in like first person mode.
Oh yeah,
Joker.
You feel like a badass.
I heard that Batman game was good.
It is so much fun because you're like punching dudes. You're looking at your arm. You're like, I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Like
every 5 minutes,
you look at your arms and you got that.
And so, like the first time I played it, you interact with the controllers in the VR, and there's like gadgets you can pull out of your suit. Well, I kept messing up, and Caitlin's recording me because you can cast to a phone.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Caitlin's recording me, and it's just me just grabbing my hand a bunch of times, and I'm just like. I'm Batman. And I finally get this stupid smoke bomb and I throw it and totally miss. I'm like short 5 yards and all the bad guys are like, hey, I'm like, oh.
No, that's great.
So yeah, it's super fun though.
Sarah has one of those. I kind of want to use one of those and check them out. You know, got that Beat Saber action going, dude.
There's an Army Plastic Guy game.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of that. That game looks sick.
It's actually
like
it's super fun.
Get down, man.
There's a it's a medieval kind of like sword fighting game, but it has physics like human physics. And there's a mod for lightsabers with dismemberment. So there's cool. Videos of people doing crazy Jedi shit, like pulling people, cutting off their head and like dunking it, like doing a super jump and like doing 360s and dunking it. And shit. I'm like, that does look pretty cool. Now, Jess, what have you been watching?
Okay, so yesterday was the premiere of the first episode of the new season of the Kardashians.
Oh no.
What season is this? Like 55?
I don't even know. It's been on.
It's like 20 something.
For years.
It's been on for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one was really, really good.
I believe it.
Really juicy. Chloe meets up with Lamar, her ex-husband.
Oh, okay.
Who ended up Lamar Odom.
Yeah,
the guy we know who Lamar Odom is.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, I know sports.
He's sports, guys.
He's sports. Yeah, so they meet and it's like really, really emotional and I highly recommend. Okay.
Anywho, I will say though, speak in the realm of reality TV, Lady Jams, I don't know how she did it, but she managed to brainwash me into kind of digging Vanderpump.
Oh my God.
So it's like her comfort show, right?
Right.
And everybody has a comfort show. I totally get that. So she watched it when either she just wants to be on her phone and have some background noise, or if she's sick, it's something she can just kind of watch. It's dumb. And like most guys, you know, when they see a dumb reality show, they're like, this is stupid.
This is so dumb.
It's like season 5. So this is early Vanderpump. And I'm watching like, well, Jax is kind of a douche.
I must
like that watching. Was his. Well, and it was like, well, that argument was his fault. And she's just like, it was like, wait a minute. Another season goes by. And I'm watching this all in passing. So like she's sitting down watching and I'll watch. Come back, it'll be like 3 episodes later. Like, why is James such an ass when he's drinking? He's the worst. I don't know why people like him or Lala. Leave 2 episodes ago. Now I'm sitting down watching these whole episodes to see how Tom becomes a thing. And it's like, damn it. And the worst thing is I know the drama that comes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm sitting here in like season 9 now, and it's like, Tom and Ariana are easily the 2 best people on the show. And I know that's going to be a disaster.
So here's my example of every dude walking into their wife watching a Vanderpump or a Housewives. Oh, you're watching this shit again? Go and do whatever I'm doing, walking back. So what did that bitch do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, but why is she mad?
Yeah.
Okay, but
that's literally what it is.
Who did it to what?
That's why you guys always saying things like, "Oh, the Kardashians." If you sat down and watched it,
hey,
I have a younger sister. I've had to do my time with Kardashians. I've matured.
Here's the craziest thing about the Kardashians in the very early stages of keeping up with the Kardashians on Bravo. I liked watching it because that's when they were still like a normal family. They were
normie, yeah.
They were a normal family. Yes, they had like notoriety. They had like this famous father who's no longer with us, and the Jenners, and they had money, but they they were not the billionaire versions of the Kardashians. No, they had
like a somewhat normal house.
Yeah, normal house, normal dynamic. And then they just became the most famous people in the world. So seeing from like, go back and watch the very first season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians and like, look what it is now. It is crazy. But I think that's about it, guys. I think it's time to say goodbye.
Oh, I have one last thing.
Yes.
Is
it a gift?
Yes.
Sick.
Oh, God.
As a thank you for allowing me on your super cool show that I have not missed an episode, and I never will.
We appreciate that.
I went to Dutch Bros this morning. And
Oh,
got
God.
everybody
Greg.
gift cards,
Oh,
including one for Orc back there.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go.
Oh, my God. Greg, you did not need to.
That's for you.
Oh my God.
Stop making us look bad,
Not
Greg.
There
Daddy
you go.
Greg.
God damn it, Greg. Making us look bad once
my
again.
So yeah, it's the least I could do.
Thank you.
God, goofed.
If
I
you
had this for specific. I knew something. I knew I was going to need this one.
Good to Go gun training on Instagram, go and find Greg. He is the coolest guy and also never allowed around my wife ever
No.
to make her realize that there is more powerful
He's not even
and better
allowed
men.
around my man.
No, you can't.
I think you met Lady Jams, yeah? At the concert?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
See? Round of applause for
cool.
Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in, and hopefully that his stories and his words helped you through anything that maybe that you're struggling with. Remember, there's always help out there. Jess, where can people find you?
At Jess Schmidt Hair on Instagram, 2 S's, not 3.
Elliot.
You can find me at ElliotJams13 on Instagram, Elliot Cams on Twitter, or at the nearest patio with good weather.
Yes, and you can go to rantsnetwork.com, all things Elliot. Check out his blogs. The writing has gotten better since we left the radio station.
I was a good writer then.
It's better now.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm saying it's better now.
Oh, also,
You've
Yeah.
matured.
I've matured.
Yeah.
Invincible season 3's out. Watch the first 3 episodes. It's weird.
Okay, we'll talk about that next week. It's been kind of a crazy week on me. Personal wise, it's been kind of wild with all the business that I got with real estate and stuff. We're going to be a lot more directed next week. Taps and Takes, it's going to be coming out.
It is out.
It is out.
Yeah, it's out.
Episode 3 is out, but we'll have episode 4 coming up. Remember, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. There might be a little something that we're going to be doing at Grog's on St. Patrick's Day, so get ready for that. You don't have to work,
Picklebacks?
do you?
Asking if a bartender needs to work St. Patrick's Day might be a little tough.
Well, we'll figure that out, but
Picklebacks are happening.
Grog's takes precedence over
Yeah,
everything
obviously.
last time I checked. So go check out Horn Photo, Frank Sierra Finished Carpentry, Sierra Door Supply, and of course, Grog's. Big shout out to Grog's.
We love you, Grogs.
We love you.
Elliot,
Yeah, Grog's.
how many episodes of the Do Over podcast not being on terrestrial radio?
We are on lucky number 7.
7 episodes of the Do Over podcast no longer being on terrestrial radio. Who the f- needs them?
Nope.
Not me.
Not us.
Not me. Not with this. Thank you to everyone who listens to us. Go check out our Patreon. All of our links are right here. Merch coming soon. That is a promise. And until next time, gotta go. Love you. Bye.
Bye, please.